morning, people. It is Thursday, the 6th of July. Welcome to TDA, the day after, your favorite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by the culture. Let's introduce ourselves.
It's your boy, Big Moss from the east side of the bridge. 6 foot plus appeal, temptations and all that. It's good stuff.
It's my own royalty.
And they call me E-Man, the pro-black activist, TDA producer, news analyst, melanin jam-packed.
That is right. How's everyone this lovely morning?
Yeah, all right.
I'm good, thank you. How are you, Esther?
Okay, thank you.
Thank God.
Sure do. How are you doing, Margs?
I'm all right. I went to bed earlier than I usually do, and I didn't wake up feeling fresher than I usually do, so.
You didn't know you did?
I didn't.
You didn't wake up feeling fresh?
Not like I feel unfresh. I'm saying I didn't feel like fresher.
Okay. So do you feel like going to bed early is a scam then?
Like, the little hour didn't do nothing.
What?
It was only like an hour earlier than I usually
yeah,
would.
that doesn't, yeah. You need like at least 2 hours.
You think?
Yeah, it has to be significant enough.
Mm-mm.
An hour is not significant. An hour goes quick.
I
to be
can't-
fair.
Yeah, I felt like I went to bed early, but I woke up and I thought like, oh,
Yeah, I went to bed late. But I hear you.
no, we're good though. We're good over here.
It's good.
I heard there was a lot of bacchanal on Love Island.
Yeah, we need to talk about Casa more. I don't like being so invested in shows that it starts to irritate me in the real life.
It's pissing you off.
I had to unfollow some people. 'Cause
What's
I'm very
that?
petty. I'm very petty. Like, I unfollow
Serious?
people. Sorry?
Serious?
Dead ass. You know, sometimes, sometimes, yeah, I just don't have time for foolishness. And I saw a lot of foolishness yesterday. I just said, I don't have to read this. This is my timeline. So I just did some soft blocking. Because I've got manners like that. I don't just unfollow people and then you keep following me. I'll soft block you.
What's a soft block?
So you block somebody, then you unblock them. So none of us are following each other now.
Okay.
Huh?
So if I
You can remove a follower, innit? You can
Yeah.
remove someone from following you without
But that's on
blocking them.
Instagram, because Instagram have manners. But on Twitter, I can't remove you from following me. So I have to soft block you. So I block you, then I unblock you, and then we just don't follow each other anymore.
Okay, so if I want somebody to stop following me, I block them and unblock them.
Yeah. And then we just stop following each other. You stop following them and they stop following you.
Okay. Do they get a notification?
No. Like the rapture, they wouldn't know. Wouldn't know a thing.
Okay. All right.
It's lit.
Okay, and why did you do that?
Because it takes some people are just dumb.
Sorry, they were sharing their thoughts about Love Island and
Yes.
you didn't like it, so
Yes,
you
I
removed
unfollowed them. Yes.
Talk to me.
What do you mean?
happened
So,
on
is that weird?
No, what? You're saying that you can't handle conversation?
No, it's not. No.
As in thoughts that you don't want to read.
Yes, on my timeline.
Talk to me.
On my social media platform. Yes.
100%. Talk to me. But you removed them. So they used to be friends. But
No, they're not
still it is
friends.
They share
No,
their
no,
thoughts
no.
on this.
No, they're not friends. No, just people that you follow and you just always followed each other for years. And to be fair, you've had it coming.
years.
You've had it coming for a while. Do you know what it is? I really don't like reading foolishness. Like, I'm very, like, I don't think anyone understands anything that I just find annoying, even for a brief moment. That's a form of inconvenience. So I remove it. I don't like
I just
inconveniences.
mute them.
Yeah, see, even muting is something I would do to a close friend. Say you started tweeting stupid, and I see you every day, and I like
Did
you.
you say start?
Say he did.
Oh.
No, I find his tweets funny at the moment.
Okay.
Mark makes me laugh.
Because you know him. It's your bond
Exactly,
to him, innit?
exactly.
Okay.
But
Right,
say
what
there
are you
was.
trying to say? What's wrong with my
No, I
tweets?
just
He's
wanted to
saying
clarify.
that he's saying you're muted on the day after page.
I can't even tag him, to be honest. So he's outside to us. I don't know.
What, you think I blocked you or something?
I don't know what you've done. But I can't tag you. That's
your-
what I have to add to you.
What
See,
do you
you're
mean?
always on the shop window every time I put a thing out because I can't help but to do that. That's the only way you're going to get that notification.
Yeah, but that's because of you. It's nothing to do with me.
You think it's because of me, but I've done nothing.
Have you checked your settings?
What settings can you check? What do you want to
Let
do?
me check your settings.
And can you tag him on anything? Because I want to know
I'm not
if
sure.
it's just a me
It's just a
thing.
you thing.
Because even when I use my normal Twitter to find you, I can't find you.
I'm shadow banned.
That's probably what it is.
I'll be honest here. You are shadow banned, yeah. I thought you'd deactivate it yesterday. I mean, deactivate yesterday. I was gonna come to your house.
You thought I deactivated? Why?
Because I searched in Margs. I said, I was like, what?
Yeah.
I said, they did not get you. They did not
Oh,
get
So he
you.
just calmly said, I'm shadow banned. So you knew.
So you
there was
know.
a time when I was asking, I was puzzled.
Security.
And you left
No,
me
I
in this
didn't.
bewildered
I didn't know.
puzzlement.
I'm coming to the
You're
realization
now
now.
realizing it.
I'm saying this now. Having the realization.
And why do you think you've been shadow banned, sir?
Maybe some of the stuff I'll say.
Exactly.
Some.
Yeah, I'm just coming to the realization now. It's just hit me now. I've been shadow banned.
It's so weird that like somebody in Twitter, well, the new Twitter now, has woken up and said, yep, continue having him shadow banned. Whatever you're doing, they're like, no, nobody else needs to basically be able to find you.
The person who initially shadow banned him has gotten a raise.
Probably gone.
No, they got a raise. Because he said, you made the right call.
So when you type my name in, I don't come up.
No.
I had to go in my DMs and I was like, oh, okay, here he is. I was like, damn, like, I don't know how you
And
done
he look
this.
his gritty, he's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I can put that on my CV.
I didn't know. Why are they shadow ban me, man? They gotta free me. So that's why I don't get as much traction as I like.
Yes. Yes, 100%.
Why
You don't
they
do
I
wrongs
don't
anymore.
know how.
Why they hating on me for?
You ask yourself that question.
How do you get unshadow banned?
Self-awareness. Obviously,
got
link
to be by the
somebody
Bible.
that's in Twitter and then get them to go into the office, you know,
Take you off the thing.
log onto that account and be like, boop.
Okay, let's see.
You have to find one first. To be honest, you like frolicking with the enemy. Anyway, so you're bound to walk into
I
one
don't
of
know
them.
how to take off. Yeah, I don't know why you can't thingy him.
No, we've ascertained it's because he's shadow banned.
They're hating
But
on
then,
me.
but you should be able to tag people even though they are shadow banned.
No, he can't. I can put his @ in a tweet, and that's what I've been doing. But other than that, no.
That's weird.
I'm not even that much of a problem on Twitter.
So
I mean, you're right.
That's crazy. So you say you thought I deactivated my page?
I really thought you did. I'll be so. I said, "Yikes, this is more serious." I was gonna check in on you, but I thought, you're fine. So then when I went, yeah, I thought it's fine. So I went to search something, and I said, the boy is gone. I said, nah, this is not.
He's gone.
Literally, I was like, what the heck? I thought I spelled Marks wrong. I said, how do you spell Marks wrong?
yeah.
Nah, but you were there, obviously, and you're here today.
I ain't got nowhere. I didn't even see none of that stuff. That's why it's so funny. It's so
Nah,
hilarious.
literally.
So sorry, I'm really concerned about this whole blocking stuff.
Are you not concerned?
Do you know? Because it's weird to me.
It's not. Is it weird?
I think it's because I don't read my feed.
This is it though. And that's because sometimes I just scroll and whatever, but sometimes some things are so stupid.
If you don't read your feed, what are you doing on there?
I'm checking like news,
It's-
current
oh,
affairs
okay.
and stuff. So there are two feeds, right? There's a For You
Oh yeah, no
and
following.
there's a
Following.
suggested or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even if it is, I'm on that page where I'm reading the things that people I'm following are tweeting. I don't spend long there.
Oh, yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
But it's not a bad thing though. Sometimes I block people. I block people for like stupid spelling mistakes. You should know better than that. Or like I'll unfollow you if you just spell something wrong or you don't. If you
To be honest, this is your
I don't know.
life. You could do whatever you want. You can curate your own experience in it. But
I do.
during Casa Amor,
Yeah.
you decided to remove people. What were you reading that you like? Nah.
Oh,
sorry.
it was the whole like Tyreek and Ella thing. So obviously we've talked about so many times how Tyreek's been playing very, very stupid games. Well, it was finally time. He's been called up to collect his stupid prizes. And I just saw a lot of like dumb takes.
Give me your take, because
My take is that
no, not your take, as in the
Oh,
dumb
the
takes
dumb
that
take
you
I saw.
Give me an example.
I just saw some, like when people, this was the time for some guys to be like, oh, all of a sudden now bitches don't understand. Hey, who's a bitch? Unfollow. I know you're talking about unfollow. It was stuff like that. It was just dumb stuff like that.
He was blocked because he was typing them type of tweets.
Was that?
No, he was talking about how justice for Tyreek and stuff.
Oh, is that what you're on?
No.
I
I'm
didn't
so
think-
glad. Tyreek
Actually, I
was going
did.
for it.
I tweeted this bitch trying to break him. But
Yeah, see, I didn't see that. I would have muted you. I would have muted you next week. I didn't see that.
You muted him?
Actually, no, I would have been happy about that. Because she's trying to break him and I like the fact that he's broken.
she came in and she said,
I thought he was still playing games.
I thought you were still missing the game.
I
or
thought you
something
were
like-
still
I
missing
thought you
the
were still
game.
missing the game. I said,
Jesus.
this bitch trying to break him.
But he's broken. But she succeeded. She broke. But you know what's pissing me off, yeah, about all of this? She's so weak in the knees. Like, do you know what I needed her to have? You see how the vim Catherine has? I need Ella to have that. Because my thing was, you know, because she said to him, she came in with someone new. He was standing there single, in it. But the only reason why this boy was standing there single and did not move man in Casa more was because Molly was back and Molly's going to tell the girls. That's the only reason why. No. And he got the other boys to do his dirty works, right?
What? I think he was planning. I think even if Molly weren't there, I think he was planning to move like this anyway. I'm not saying it's genuine,
yeah.
But I think he was planning to move like this anyway. I think this is all part of his.
Because you know, like since the show started, he's given her nothing but headache and tears. He's made even when they're closed off, because all that closed off business as well, I can't. But when he said to them they were closed off,
what does that mean?
Thank you. Please ask me again, because he said we're closed off. She's like, oh, we're closed off. He goes, yeah, but we're not boyfriend and girlfriend. Every moment he's had, he's humbled her and said to her, like, calm down. This is not what you think it is, kind of thing. Then she goes to Casa More. When she was in your face, living with you day to day, you was flirting with other girls. How much more? What? Obviously, you're gonna move mad when I'm not there. So she's obviously come back with another guy. He's standing on his own. Now he's acting shocked, talking about, whatever this was, we're done. See? Gosh. She's a fake Nigerian. She's a fake Yoruba woman because
she's Nigerian.
She's half Nigerian, half Scottish.
Oh, is it?
Yes. The Scottish diluted the Nigerian. Because you see when he said to her, we're done, I would have been like, of course we're done. Why do you think I'm standing here with a new man? She should have given him back so much energy. She's standing there, lips quivering, all crying. Should I go and talk to him? I said, oh, you're pathetic.
Talk to Tyreek.
Yeah.
That's what I told you. She
had the city girls up, now and down.
Doesn't have what Tyreek has.
Who, the new
And
guy?
never will. Yeah.
Yeah, because she likes toxicity.
Yeah, she's still pining
And that's what made me realise women are down bad in society.
She's
because
finished.
I've seen a lot of women talking about, like, I feel so bad for Tyreek. I said,
serious?
we're done.
You gotta feel bad for
We're
Tyreek.
done.
But the dynamics of their relationships changed forever
We're
now.
done.
Yeah,
She's
100%.
she's finished now. She needs to cut that boy loose. She don't want nothing to do with this. You see, forever, he'll use that as an excuse for all this fuckery.
She's got Hulu's.
She needs to cut
She's got
Tyreek
who?
loose.
Oh,
But
Tyreek.
she's not going to, though.
But he's already cut her loose. That's the problem.
Yeah, but he'll enjoy. This is the best thing that could happen to him. He would enjoy this position of power that he's in because he can go and
I hate
freely
that.
flex with other birds, and you can't tell me nothing because you diss me.
Because you know
and he can
guys
still
like that,
entertain
yeah.
her, and she's gonna run him down as she wants him. He'll probably still chop her and all that. Like this is perfect for him.
But you know guys like that, that's the thing. He's going to use this. If they end up together and they get married, at 80 years old, when they're
he'll
walking
bring it
to the
up.
balcony, he's going to bring it up.
Yeah.
So you can't be with guys like that. You can't be with guys like that.
When he gets caught cheating, he'll be like, yeah, but remember when you
did this on national TV?
Yeah, he'll never let it drop. Never, as long as he lives.
Hello, good morning,
I
caller.
can't stand men like that.
Hello.
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 Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Who's speaking?
Marnie.
Marnie, what are your thoughts?
I'm just listening to it about hearing you talk about the Ella and Tyreek situation. Yeah, she done them dirty. Yeah, she done them dirty, man.
Oh, that's facts though. What are you
I
trying
don't
to
think
say?
she did. I really don't believe she did.
Pardon?
Did you not see his speech beforehand? Did you see his speech?
You need to
Yeah,
understand, yeah.
but then the way it
Let the
was,
caller speak, sorry.
but then it was is because when they was in there, he was doing what he was doing, and then they both made it clear, like, raw, I'm exclusive. And then she's gone Casa more, she's doing what she's doing. But then the fact that Tyreek now, he was loyal, and then she come back now with her next year, and then she had the cheek to say, oh, I thought you was for the streets. No, she is playing it.
Okay, can I throw something? Can I remind you of something here? So firstly, they weren't exclusive. He says, I'm closed off because there's no one in here I want to get to know. In here. You see with men like Tyreek here, you've got to listen to what they say. He said, there's nobody in here that I want to get to know. When she said, oh, we're closed off, he said, yeah, but this is not a relationship or anything like that. Don't go thinking this is anything. So why would she not think the man who's been flirting in her face the whole time is not going to have a field day in Casa More? Like,
No, but the difference
he
is
put himself in this position.
No, then it is. At that moment in time, he was open. Like he always said to her, like, "Oh, I'm still open." But then the fact that they both said, "I'm exclusive," that must mean something. And then you go catch some more, come up with another man. No,
Now, do you know what
you're
you're missing?
taking the
Okay,
piss.
this is what you're missing, babes. He said, I'm closed off. There's nobody else in here. Do you know what previous contestants say when they mean that in Casa More here, wherever it is, I'm closed off. There's nobody else coming in that's gonna turn my head. He didn't say that. He said, I'm closed off because there's nobody else in here. You got to remember as well, all the bombshells that come in. So he's saying, I got to know the bombshells and you're it for me right now. Everybody else who's closed off, as in like we're exclusive, they weren't exclusive, it was closed off. When they're exclusive, they say nobody else can come in that's gonna turn my head. His head was doing a 360 round the clock. The only reason why Tariq is in the situation he's in is because nobody, if he's not playing the game that Marg said he's playing, is because no one actually came in that was buff enough for that.
Well, in my mind, I'm watching the screen and I'm saying, does he believe this stuff that he's saying?
No, I think he's embarrassed. That's what it is. It's embarrassment. Because he's always been the player.
Of course, but he's on national
His
TV
ego's
as well.
bruised, and I love that. Oh, inject it.
Armani, do you think he's playing a game, or do you think he actually likes her?
No, I think he actually liked her still, because the fact here that he didn't really give no girl a chance, yeah, that's big for him, innit? So, and then the fact that he actually done it, and the fact that, don't forget, yeah, when he first came, he's saying, oh, he had sex with like 100 girls, he's for the streets, but the fact that he kind of gave no interest into talking to any girls, that's a start, innit? But then, the reason why I don't really like it now, because if it was the other way around, where Tyreek recoupled and then Ellis to come in, everybody would be saying, "Oh, Tyreek's this, Tyreek's that," jumping on my man's thing. But because it's her now, and then all the other girls want to like, even when Tyreek's saying his little one-liner back now, Catherine's screwing her face. Like, come on now, man.
That's always the case. When it's the men, they want to vilify man and go like man's devil. And then when it's the gal, you want us to hear where she's coming from and make something like.
No. I've been saying from the start here that Ella's a damn fool. I've been consistent with the fact. I still think she's an egg. I feel like the fact that you did all of that and you didn't stand in it is wild to me. My thing is, the reason why I'm saying Tariq cannot be shocked about this is the way he treated Ella.
Yeah, but
you can't be moving like that and then act shocked that a girl doesn't trust you. You gave her no reason to trust you. Like, she had no reason to believe he was going to be faithful to her.
Still though, if he walked in with a girl,
suffering too much.
If he walked in with a girl and she was standing up by herself, he'll be getting dragged through the streets.
100%.
I'll be honest with you. I would have called her a fool. I still would have called her a fool, because my thing is about what he showed her before she left. So if she came back single, I would have called her a fool, because he showed you this. Like, what made you think he was going to stay faithful to you? And in the same way, I'm looking at him like, you treated this girl like this. What made you think she was going to trust? When she was in your face, you showed her hell. Why would she trust that when she's not there, you're going to be any better? This is what happens when men want to give you ad hoc flipping attention, ad hoc love. This is what happens. You would chop breakfast in the end. I just wish she was really a baddie. She's not about it. She looks too good for how she's acting. It's a damn shame.
But I hear you. But then in that situation, that's why you have to take risk, and that's what Tyreek did. And then obviously she weren't really feeling that and brought back the new guy.
And she took a risk as well. And it's annoying me that she did it to like get back at him. I don't think you understand the way her lips start quivering.
I think the girls kind of got into her head as well, because when they first got there, the girls are saying, "Oh, he's going to be talking to these type of girls. You just do your thing." So I think the girls kind of played a little impact on her recoupling.
Because they said all of that to her, yeah? Then she comes to like, "Oh, go and talk to him." I said, "Oh, my women enable women's foolishness."
Of course.
Calm down. Women enable. Women enable. I was like, you lot told her. Like, none of you can even say, get to know Uzi. They're all like, babe, no, got me. This is why I say women are going to carry last in this world. The fact they said, the fact that he's moving like this, it shows he cares. I said, oh, you people are finished. You people are finished. A man is angry, slamming doors. I know they had to mute his mic because he was calling out all sorts of bees and hoes. I know he was. And you guys are saying, oh, like women are so desperate for any crumb of affection.
You're horrible. You didn't feel sad for him one time.
No. I was sitting there gleed. My heart was so gleeful.
No, man.
I said, this is it. But I also don't feel bad for Ella though. That's the thing. I'm consistent. I don't feel bad for Tyreek, and I don't feel bad for Ella.
I was ready.
I don't feel bad for any of them.
Yeah, I thought that's what you gotta be careful what you wish for, man.
You have to be.
No, because I was telling you like this is what I want to see.
Yeah.
I was saying this is what I want to see. I'm ready for it. Yeah, I need to see Tyreek standing there, Ella walking
And that's
in.
what I got,
so
and I was so happy.
So I can feast on his tears. You get me? So then he walked in there, and I was like, yeah, I was gassed. You get me? And then like,
And then you realize men were down
it cut
bad.
to him. Yeah, it cut to him, and I could just see. I could see he couldn't even blink. Like
Because if he blinks, he's gonna cry.
when you're standing up and someone says, oh, like you're right.
And you let loose.
You know that one where you're blessed, you hold it together, and some idiot just come and asks you if
Are you
you're all
okay?
right. Are
Shut
you
up.
okay?
Don't ask me stupid questions.
Was he really like that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was.
so
No, you know what though? He's a real one. He's a soldier. He kept it together. Because I
but you know he kept doing
thought there was
he
no
was
way
walking
in
around the
hell.
house.
I thought there was no way in hell this man don't cry. I'm saying he just if he blinks, the tear's it's gonna roll.
Do you know someone
He was
said yeah?
he was livid.
Ella.
Someone
Brother.
said yeah, he was in a walk into Jericho in the house. He was walking in and out of the rooms, and then they showed the scene where he slammed the door. I know they had to mute his mic. They had to mute his mic.
You know when you clench
Because
your
I'm
jaw,
so pissed off, man.
Adam's apple popping, every sign of tears
And he's like,
was in his face.
He's not looking at her. Like he's just trying to look straight.
You know what?
Then Katie's like, "You're right, love."
cried. I think he cried. I think they must have done a. I think
they
they've done a
did,
break.
they did.
I think they probably done a break and then let him go again or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
because
yeah.
I don't know
They definitely
how.
did that
I don't know
scene.
how he got his words out.
Yeah. Someone said they did that scene. They filmed that scene at least 5 times.
Yeah.
Because they know that when he was cussing her, you fucking bitch. That's what he would say.
definitely was
They
doing
said
that.
they had to do them scenes again.
Wait, have they had sex?
There's
don't
people think
know.
they have.
Because
was
how
once-
come he's moving like that?
I don't know.
Do you know? But Brent, this is the thing. He's not. I don't
thought
think he
you
likes
said
her.
he was a.
I don't think he
was
likes
a bad
her.
man.
He is, but it's his ego.
As a gallus bad man.
He is, but
no,
this
it's
was
his
Hackney.
ego.
From Hackney.
I don't think he likes her. I don't think he likes her. I feel like his hurt and everything is embarrassment because she's played him on that. And do you know what it is as well? For you to be there encouraging everyone else to cheat on their girl, but you're the one. And do you know what's mad, Brent? Do you know what's mad? When everyone else's partners was coming in with different people, he was laughing, Brent. He was laughing, not knowing he who laughs last.
But it just showed us that he's a rookie
mad.
and he needed this for growth.
Precisely.
This is his origin
Because
story.
I don't believe he's what he's been saying he is.
No, he's not. But
He's
this
not.
is origin story. He's gonna be it now.
Oh, for sure.
Are you sure?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
gonna hold on
yeah,
to this. So like, you know, those two boys you meet and they're like, oh, I can't trust any girl because, you know, I don't trust. I have trust issues. Get therapy, you psycho.
Yeah, he can't hug this. He's gonna
He's
think.
not. He's
I should
gonna-
have lipsed all of them.
Yeah, that's what he said. Should have lips all of them. Move, man. But what gets me so I think it's also because in his mind, he thinks bigger of himself than what his reality is. Because forget Uzi's bobby pins, yeah. He's a better guy.
His speech.
He's a man. He's the man that Tyreek's trying to be.
His speech was brazy.
I said, I think it's obvious. Everyone, it's obvious what I'm going to do. He's like, oh,
And I could-
first of all, I'd like to say these are lovely girls. It was lovely getting to know all of you. I was thinking, you don't even know. It's lovely to meet all of you. But I think it's obvious what it is I'm going to do. Let's take with
Yeah.
Ella. I said,
Because I was closed off. I never had the feelings like this before. I never knew about love. Once she comes in now, I'm ready to take it to the next level. Close it off, let her know. I'm ready to stop hiding my feelings. Like
What is that he was saying?
That's what he was
his
saying,
speech before she came in was mental, Brent. Was mental. Like it was box office speech. It was big boy speech. She's letting her know my feelings are on the table. This is like I think I might have found the one. I ain't never felt like this.
He said, I feel like I found the one.
I don't know if he said that,
he might as well, though.
but he might as well.
He
have.
might as well, man. He might. Like, do you know what's mad? Do you know how I knew it was bad for him? Maya was looking at him like, oh.
And Whitney, the
Whitney,
black one,
Yeah,
Whitney.
Whitney.
Whitney like wanted to
Yeah.
cry for him.
He
Whitney
said
was
something,
like,
Whitney said-
damn. All the girls looked down. They were like, shit. But I feel like I feel like the girls feel guilt.
Of course.
Because she was there like, I'm going to stand. They were like, that's dumb.
They knew that they contributed to Ella making that decision.
I don't understand.
But rightfully so.
Doesn't he know that she's just fronting a little bit so that he can kind of see her more? Doesn't he know that?
I feel like he's playing a game, man.
I don't
He doesn't
know.
like that girl. He does not like that girl. He does not
Yeah, but
like
he
that
doesn't
girl.
like losing stuff that likes him, or he feels he owns, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but she that
He
might
feels
like
like- I feel
Uzi.
like
She
he
knows
owns
Uzi
her.
from the outside. That's genuine. She was feeling easy from when she bucked him. They was done work together a week
Really?
ago. Yeah.
Again, he doesn't strike me as somebody that she'd be interested in.
Who Von?
Well-
Sorry.
Well, now
so
she's
Von has been a fool in the comments. That's why I was just about to cuss him. I was literally about to cuss him, but sorry, that's what it was. Uzi.
Yeah.
No, but Uzi. So basically, she met Uzi when they were out, yeah, and they were flirting, whatever. The next stage for them was to go on a date. So they were talking.
I saw the scene where she was like, "Yeah, I think I like you. You're cool or whatever."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, I like that." And then he moved to
No,
kiss her.
yeah, I like that.
You can't unsee that. She can't unsee that.
What, him trying to kiss her?
Yeah, it's wrong. He's
Yeah, but all the boys
probably.
just do that, man.
Shouldn't he know? Shouldn't Tyreek know? She ain't really on him. She's just looking to.
No, she is on him though. That's the thing. Do you know what?
She's not on Uzi.
Oh, on Uzi? Of course not, because you know she was holding his hand. As soon as she saw Tariq standing, she left Uzi. I said,
This is it. So why is he?
I would have been linked up arm in arm. Because my thing is like, don't
I'll be
like,
encouraging him a bit.
even if sorry,
I'll be encouraging them.
encouraging you.
Hey, you guys are good together, man.
That's what I would do.
I'll be doing
Because
all
my thing is that, yes, obviously I regret my decision in it, but I'm not gonna make you think that because he's standing there all high and mighty, talking to me sideways, talking about this is done. And what pissed me off was like, he was like, whatever we had here is done. And she's like, I didn't want it to be done. I was thinking, oh, you're so pathetic.
You know what?
You are a sorry excuse for
He's in
Nigerian
the
woman.
driving
Where is your
flipping seat
shame
right now? What are you guys
Where is
talking
the
about?
pride?
Who?
He's in the driving seat.
Yeah.
And that's what's pissing me off. Why? Why?
Oh, that's why you're vexed.
That's why I'm vexed. I don't care about these people.
But you shouldn't want.
I'm
You
annoyed
shouldn't
that
want
she
Uzi
let
for her.
him.
You shouldn't want Uzi for her.
I don't care who she's with.
Uzi's a better man for her. She don't want Tyreek.
I don't care who she's with.
Tyreek's nothing but pain and heartache. This is the best thing that could happen to her. She don't realize it. She needs to get out of there.
But she needs to be like proper hurt first.
No, but she is. But you know
You
what
know,
it is
to learn
though?
the lesson.
You know she
You
cried
can't just
every
tell her.
single
I
day.
heard
Yeah. She basically cried every single. I think the most we had with Ella in a happy mood
Wow.
with Tariq was maybe 2 days.
Wow.
2 days, right? 2 whole days. And even then, the second day was when he told her he misses the game. So that quickly ended, right?
Misses the
She was with Uzi and she felt peace. I don't understand why you think that Tariq is a guy for you.
But you
Let us say you people should be intentional. What are you going to say? No, it's on your lips. Say it.
I'm just gonna say this is what we've spoken about before, innit? Like, you know, the decisions women make, innit? And then somehow the man will get blamed for it.
No, but
you know,
there's no way. This is my thing. Yeah, I don't understand how everyone is shocked that she did what she did when he was moving the way he was moving with her. And this is the issue: is that men don't understand the foundation you lay. At some point, the girl's gonna wake up. He showed her at every point that he wasn't really into her. You know what's mad? They've met in the outside. He didn't remember he met her. From the very first interaction, yeah, he's been parring her. So I don't understand people's shock.
There's
that
no
she
way
finally thought, do you know
could
what?
be running me
This
down,
is it.
yeah, and be onto me and be trying to get onto me and trying to tell me and trying to take me serious and try and run me down all these weeks in the yard, yeah. And then the second you leave me, you bring back a brother. You get me?
That's the best thing to
That's
do.
impossible.
That's the best thing to
That's
do.
crazy. That means everything you said to me before was nonsense.
No, it wasn't.
It was.
No, it wasn't. I just woke up and realized, I'm wasting my time. And this is
Yeah,
the
but
thing.
then it's
This
just
is what
fuck
men
you
don't
forever
understand.
anyway. That's why you see that I don't know whether Tyreek's got it in him to be everyone nigga, but it has to just be fuck you forever. Like that's it.
But that's the problem though. Men don't know. It can be fuck that girl forever, but that's the thing with men. User will carry it now to every innocent girl that had nothing to do with this matter. For the next 20 girls he dates, those poor girls are going to be suffering on account of this one sin. It's foolishness. It's foolishness. Women get hurt more than men do, but women get up and then date again and trust again. Men get the heart broken in year 4. And through uni, the graduation, paying taxes, we will never hear the end of it because of one little heartbreak. Be a man and stand up, man.
Yeah, she
Explain your-
created a monster.
Explain your thinking to me. If you were chasing a girl, a very popular girl, try and get into maybe a different person's back because you can't relate to this at all, right?
Yeah.
But try to. You're chasing this girl and she's very popular and she is flirting with all these different guys. She has all these different suitors and whatnot. And she's just not giving. And then you go off on holiday and you happen to meet a next girl and you bring back that girl. Are you saying that she's not supposed to be... Well, sorry. Let me pause. Flip the scenario.
Go on.
You're the
guy.
You're the girl.
I could just be the guy.
Yeah, you're the girl.
That could be the girl.
Why don't you just make me the guy, but put me in the girl's position? Like, you don't need to be
Go.
the girl. I don't know. You do it.
No, go.
I'm the girl.
No, what
I'm
you
the
just
guy.
Said, what you just
No,
said,
but that's
yes.
the thing. That I feel like it's difficult if you're
But
as
I'm the
a
one
guy
that
in
I'm the
girl's
one that
position. You're
who am
Ella.
I in this situation? You're trying to tell me I'm Ella or Tyreek?
I'm just saying the same thing that he's doing to her, as in cavorting with all these different women.
Okay, yeah, go
and
on.
then she's just giving him, and then she's not getting any play. So she goes away and gets play and comes back, and then this guy's vexed. Just switch the positions. Suppose that girl's doing that, and then you come back, and then she's now vexed that you brought back a girl who's not giving you time. How are you responding to that? What puzzles me is when it is you were talking to Esther, it's as though you believed everything that you were saying. But then you just flip the scenario, and now you're like,
No, what I'm saying is if I'm in that situation, like, so basically if I'm on a girl, she's moving strange, where
and just
I
flip with all
go
these different guys.
flirting with all these different
Yeah.
guys, where then I go away, bring back a girl.
And then she's vexed with you.
then she's vexed with
telling
me.
you what you couldn't have any sort of consistency. You're supposed to still be on me when it is you get back. How are you responding to that after she's been rebuffing you all this time?
Yeah, I'm telling her shut up and go about your business.
All right, cool. So when it is you were talking to S, I'm thinking like, are you hearing what you're saying?
Wow, because what was I saying to Esther again? I wasn't. Wait, what? Who was I representing? Not
friend,
Ella.
My friend, what it is that she did was legit.
What
You
Ella
shouldn't
done?
be feeling for this guy. She did nothing.
No.
All she did was love the guy.
No.
And try.
No.
Then she came back with a quote unquote love interest.
No, now I'm with you. Now
Alright,
I'm with
talk
you.
to me.
Now I'm with you. That's in fairy. That doesn't matter. Yeah.
Why doesn't it matter?
Because that's in fairy. Everything sounds nice in fairy. Practical is different. You see in real life when it pans out, yeah, it wasn't nice scenes to watch. You get me?
Oh, okay.
That's
You
what
felt uncomfortable watching it.
I'm just saying she done him dirty. She done the right thing.
Explain the done him dirty bit.
Because she was running him down for however long, yeah, trying to make him do the right thing, trying to yeah. You are missing the point that before they left, yeah, she got what she wanted, yeah. She achieved her mission. He caved in. Okay, we're closed off. It's me and you. So she achieved her mission and she got what she wanted. Then she's left him now. Then she's gone to another man. Now, obviously, that's a risk that she's taking because what you're saying, the foundations that he's setting, all these kind of stuff, yeah. But it was a risk, it was a gamble that she took, but she lost the gamble. She lost the risk because he done the right thing.
What was your expectation of Tyreek before we got to the end here? Did you expect Tyreek to move the way he's moved? He moved in Castle.
No. But that doesn't matter.
Why doesn't it matter?
Because it's about what he done. What you thought, it doesn't matter.
You are busy, man.
No, it's facts though.
Can't talk about what it is that you're asking because that never happened.
Yeah. Well, how can what you think, what you thought doesn't matter? Like,
Do you know what I find so funny?
with hindsight now, you was wrong, innit?
Do you know what I find so funny? Yeah, men go on like literally tours banging on about women don't have accountability. And in this situation, you are just like, Ella's wrong, Ella's in the wrong. He set the foundation where he did not respect this girl. In her face, he did not respect her. What about the interaction would have given her confidence to trust that in my absence, he's going to respect me when he didn't respect me when I was right there?
Before
Like,
they
you're
left.
hearing yourself, I'm going to unfollow you in real life. What kind of foolishness are we talking about here?
Esther, can I ask a
This
question?
is
then?
dumb.
Can I ask a question then? If this is the case, right?
laughing too hard at
And
this, man.
I agree with you, right? I agree with you, right? He obviously put in certain wobbly bricks, right? The foundation was very shaky. I understand why she'll doubt it.
It was on sand.
There you go. But why would she agree with him and say, you know, I'm closed off too? Why would she do that?
You know, like, okay, do you know what everyone's missing as well?
Tell me.
You know, it was even after they closed off here, was when he dropped the I missed the game line on her. One of the last conversations they had was him saying, I miss the game in their closed off situation. And you think I'm going to go to Casa and
He said he's closed off. He said he's closed off after that.
No, he didn't.
After he said he misses the game.
No, he didn't.
He says he misses the game, and they had a little blow up and whatnot. And then when they came back and they squashed it, and then that's when they was closed off after that.
Okay. They still had a conversation about him missing the game even after they closed off. I will watch the episodes back and I'll come back tomorrow and be like, okay, do you know
Okay,
what?
cool.
They definitely had a conversation about him still missing the game after, because he did a whole speech about, but this is all new to me. I've never been in a relationship. This is all new to me. So of course I'm going to miss the game. And he gave the whole example about that's all he's ever known. So that was after they were closed off. And then you think you're going to tell me that you missed the game in our closed off state. And but again, you're forgetting that in my face, you have gotten to know every woman. And even when I got excited that we're closed off, you quickly interrupted and said, hey, we're not girlfriend and boyfriend though. Like, calm down. And you think I'm going to go to another place with men, especially one that I knew from the outside who is as good looking as me, matches me, we're equally yoked in looks, and you think I'm not going to come back.
Yeah, but she's lost the moral high ground.
Oh, completely.
But do you know what's mad though? Do you know what's mad is that if she came back here and he was with somebody, none of you were saying what you're saying. Do you know what your argument would be? Your argument would have been like, he showed her, but she knew what he was like. That's the argument you guys would have said. I've heard you saying real dilemmas in this episode.
I think it's because y'all think women aren't supposed to be acting like men.
What do you mean?
When they start acting like
exactly
a man,
that. That's what he means.
you're like, this is unacceptable.
This is it.
Acceptable.
I don't see that.
No, because when Brent flipped the script,
women act like men though?
Wait a minute. When Brent flipped the script, we're not doing that today. When Brent flipped the script, you understood. When he then puts a label on who you were in the scenario, now it's no, I don't want to hear that. That's the issue. Is because you start take advantage of treat women stupidly. Yeah. You give women half-hearted love, half-hearted commitment. Yeah. Give them stupid things like, let's go with the flow. Let's be closed off. Let's do this nonsense. And then when they then move on because you're not giving them anything that's concrete,
she can't
you're acting shocked.
He's lost control and tactics.
She can't take accountability, for her actions, and this is all it boils down to, She allowed all of that nonsense from him, So when Esther's saying, when he showed his ass or whatever,
that's a good point.
Yeah, when he showed his ass or whatever, she still said, she showed her who he was,
She showed him what it is he can get away with.
But whatever, she still said, this is where I want to be. This is what I want to do in it, So then you come and you engage in this contract with me now, So all the extra stuff, whatever I'm doing, it's out in the open. You know who I am, so don't judge. You can't judge him on that. Because that's irrelevant. That's who he is. She said that's who she wants to be with, and they're closed off. So don't be judging them on his old shit. Let's judge him on the scenario that's here. So after they've gotten closed off, he's left, and he's acted in an exemplary manner. So what are we talking about here?
Okay, so you're saying that she's not allowed to change her mind.
Basically.
Once you've signed the agreement, you can't change your mind.
Mind you, the agreement
that's why he feels betrayed. He didn't change his mind.
Mind you, the agreement.
Did he say I missed the game?
That was after. That was before.
No, it wasn't.
Sorry, man. I apologize. Am I offended you?
Trigger warning.
Sorry.
Mind you,
when they've gone off, in their own separate ways, as it stands, they are closed off. As it stands, they're closed off, innit? Forget all the extra stuff. When they left Casa Amor, me and you are closed off. He acted in a manner that you should do. She didn't.
Call up.
1 second, sorry.
I don't understand how he's getting the blame here.
Yeah, of course you don't.
Sorry, I wasn't
Sorry,
listening.
good morning, caller.
Good morning, caller. Who are you and what are your thoughts?
Good morning. My name is James. I just had one point to make that we keep forgetting. Tyree, the point, he said that he vowed to himself that when he came to Casa Amor, he would make sure that he was standing there like an egg. I think he only closed it with Ella to make sure that she can't be single as well. He did not want
manipulation thing.
How? He could have picked someone. He had options to pick someone.
Exactly.
If he was so adamant he didn't want to stand there single, he could have took one of them girls.
Let the caller speak. Sorry, caller, you were speaking.
Nah, I don't believe that. He wanted something sturdy because 5 dead girls could have come in.
Listen.
So, as far as I'm concerned, he did it thinking that Ella's going to stay there, single, come back to him. And either way, even if he does pick someone, he's got someone. Doesn't pick someone, Ella's definitely coming back single. I think he played the game from the beginning. Just because of that one comment, he played the game.
Because you know what's mad here? Do you know what's mad? The thing is, my whole thing here, the producers caused this because if Molly had not been there, Tyreek would have been... The fact that this happened to him, the first thing that came out of your mouth is, I should have lips all of them. It wasn't your heart to lips them.
Definitely.
And then do you know what's mad? Did you clap when he said to Molly, you're gonna let Ella know that I've been good, right? The guy's been playing a game because look at Montel, for example. Montel was out here lipsing at his leader's command. Then Leah comes in. Now he's saying to Leah, "It was all you the whole time." That's what these guys do. And you think Tyreek with 100 plus bodies
he only lips
at the age of 22
Montel only lips because
23,
Tyreek told him to.
Move, man. And that's the thing, because no one's talking about that either. No one's talking about the fact that Tyreek knew that these guys, Montel said to him, yeah, I like Leah. I'm not feeling any of these girls. He basically said, don't be a bitch.
Man, so he's
and go and kiss her.
lips that, man.
Go and kiss her.
He's like, I like her, but not enough to lips her. He's like, are you stupid?
And this is the guy you guys feel sorry for. Thank you, caller.
Nah, no worries. See you guys.
Bye.
Tyreek.
I can't believe this person you guys are defending.
Yeah, nah, he
He
acted.
literally got everybody else to move mad. Even when they did, Montel, like, he was gonna cry. Montel walked up to that terrace thinking, shit, man, I don't want to do this.
You say
He
that,
was
but then
upset.
he was fooling around with her in the bed. She was moving like she slammed him. I was thinking in my mind, I'm saying, did she chop him? Because the way she's talking is like she's talking like she sexed him
It
up.
doesn't matter. He said, you guys, you people
No,
love
but I'm
deception.
saying I'm moving
He
like
said
it's
to her,
like
yeah.
it's just a lips, but she's saying like, boy, are you gonna like she's moving
No,
like
but
we done more than
no,
that.
but rightfully, because he said to her, I have more in common with you than Leah. Then I get here, then you're doing up happiness as if she's walking down the aisle. Of course, I'm letting her know that you're a
I'm
bloody
not even
liar.
gonna lie though. I've been onto Montel since he's walked to the house, but I rated the way he dealt with that boy.
Nah,
She was
nah,
just-
I
man
did-
said,
no, I didn't rate him.
man said she's just yapping, you know. He said,
Yeah.
just yapping. He said, listen, you can say whatever you want, but I'm not even gonna lie. That was
said,
it.
I'm with
That was an easy decision for me. I said, and he just left it there. I was like, you know what? Fair play.
No, but do you know what it was? Do you know why I didn't rate him there? It's the fact that, he was saying all of that, Then when Leah said, what happened to... Nothing really. I said, nah, stand up, man. Give the same vim as you were just giving to the other girl. Speak properly. You can't. I don't know, man. I don't like deception, whether it's for men, women. I don't like deception at all, and I don't encourage that. So.
Do you think at least that I guess Tyreek and is it Leah?
Ella.
Both of them kind of deceived each other then, or do you think it's all one way?
I don't think anyone deceives. I don't think they deceived each other.
Okay.
I think he deceived. I don't even think he deceived her.
Okay.
I just think that he needs to understand that in the world, when you do things, there's consequences. For me, I feel like this is the consequences of his actions. And it's a lesson to a lot of people. You can't give people half-heartedness, and you can't show people one thing and then act confused when they that they don't believe something else about you.
He just spoke to other girls, you know.
No, but wait,
She pursued Uzi. I think him when the other bombshells come in.
She didn't pursue Uzi.
But I'm
Uzi
saying
pursued her.
when the other bombshells came in and he spoke to them, it hasn't looked like Uzi and Ella, if that makes sense. It's just like little whatever, because he's just having like little conversations, just gets no. Like Uzi and Ella was like, they're stepping towards, huh? But I'm saying, so she's done worse. She's done worse.
She hasn't.
Then he's done.
I feel like you're trying to grab anything that you can.
Think about the way they was moving.
I
get it because they was in Casa Amor, so it's different situations, yeah. But
it can't. No, it
what
can't
bombshell
be
that came in was Tyreek all wrapped up in really like.
I don't know, but that's the problem as well though, because I feel like even the bombshells, he wasn't interested in them. I personally, the way I see all of this, is that at every chance he's gotten, he knows how Ella feels about him from day one, but he's found little ways to humble her. And that for me, I don't like stuff like that. I don't like stuff like that.
He is who he is, but she's in the wrong in that situation.
No, even with the bombshells, he hasn't been feeling the bombshells, but he's gone out of his way just to humble her. Because even when he said to her, we're closed off, he basically said to her, like, don't get too excited because we're not boyfriend. He's humbling her. Men that try to humble women, I am extremely against.
We can't accept that she was in the wrong.
She was not in the wrong, Margs.
So
I'll be honest with you. We is French. My thoughts are my thoughts. My opinions are my opinions. I am anti-situationships. I am anti-mediocre men. I am anti-mediocre commitments. I am anti-foolishness in relationships. So this here is exhibit A of foolishness. So it doesn't matter how you package this. I'm going to think what I'm going to think.
Fair enough, but
that's just that on that.
Yeah, nah, the girls. It's like if the shoe was on the other foot, man. Do
you know who I felt bad for?
This guy would be getting vilified.
No, but you know what's mad? But that's what I'm trying to tell you though. I would have stayed consistent because I said before I even knew. I said Casa was coming up. This is Ella's time to pick somebody else because no one's coming that she's been interested in. So in my mind, I said with Casa coming up, girl, you need to find somebody. If Ella had come in, say like Tyreek had somebody and Ella came in without somebody. I would have still had today. I would still have Vim for her, Because my thing was, this is what he showed you. I'm all about what someone presents to you. Do you get what I mean? If he presented committed and whatever, and then she did that would be disgusting to me. Of course it is. But he presented to you that he's a player, misses the game, all of that kind of stuff. In what world would she have trusted him? Do you know who I felt bad for? The only person I felt bad for was Scott. That's the only person I felt bad for. The white man.
Scott tried it, boy.
That's the only person I feel bad for.
Yeah, and Catherine was giving him energy. And
Catherine did not care. Catherine did not care for nothing. And that's the thing. She was like, well, it is what it is. And Scott's the only person I actually genuinely felt bad for. But even him, I was like,
Was there
I
enough?
can see why. Huh?
Was he doing enough with Catherine prior to them going to Casa?
So I feel like the biggest thing that he did that people think that Catherine should now be in debt for forever is when he called everyone round because we were talking about him being fake to Catherine.
Okay.
But really with that, I rated the fact that he called everybody round because Catherine was like, I don't think you should. He's like, no, I'm going to. But it was because it was an assassination on his character. Because they were talking about him and what he's like as a person. The boys don't like him, basically. Tariq and them don't like him. But that's what made people feel like what she did was bad. But really, it's funny because before all of that happened, before Casa, people kept banging on about Scott didn't really like Catherine.
Okay.
Now she's come up with somebody that she does like. People are like, oh, she's done him dirty. But I thought you lot said that he wasn't true. And I also think as well, the boys doing saying all of that put in Catherine's head that he maybe not being true. Because obviously the boys chill together all the time. And if all the boys were then bitching and saying that he's playing her, I feel like that's what made her feel that way. And I'm also seeing that Mehdi had an interview, obviously it's out now, but apparently like he said something, he made up apparently something about Whitney or something like that would turn her against Mehdi or something like that. But when he was confronted by her, he was like, oh, he just wanted to annoy her. Mehdi, not Whitney, Tariq has a thing about stealing black women's joy.
Oh,
That's
Tariq
conversation.
made it up, you say?
Yeah, Tariq, yeah.
Okay.
So apparently Tariq is messing in the house. Maybe all four was Mitch the whole time. But Scott's the only person I felt bad for. But I didn't like the way, because that's my thing, I don't like the way these guys just talk about women like that. Like, even when Tariq was like, oh, I thought you were the one, but I guess it was just my turn. Shut up.
Yeah,
Shut up with your community dick.
You
Shut
said,
up.
yeah, you weren't mine. You were just my turn, innit?
You're just my turn. I was
thought you
thinking,
mine, but
who
it's
did
just
he
my
say that
turn.
to?
To Ella.
All that kind of talk is dumb to me. Like,
How?
don't
You got-
objectify people talking about your my turn. Shut up. You have 100 bodies. You're probably disease ridden. What are you talking about?
I'm not gonna
I
lie,
know
man.
he don't do. He doesn't get checked.
I'm not gonna lie, man.
He doesn't.
You gotta have
Or
something, man.
pussy,
Scott went
penis
out
and
bad.
whatnot.
You gotta have a little something like when you get dumped. You get what I'm trying to say? Like you gotta have a little something. So yeah, like
You have to. But my thing is that I don't believe that guy likes Ella. He doesn't. He's just upset that he's been embarrassed on TV.
But even
That's
though
it.
he said all of that before he found out about Ella, though, because he did put
Said what?
himself on the line. You know what I'm saying? How much he likes her, this, that, and the third.
But he was saying that to the boys after she left. You can't.
No,
but
the
I mean,
speech
you can't
before
not
she
tell-
walked.
I mean,
The speech in front of everyone, in front
Before
of
she
all the
walked out.
housemates before she walked out.
Before she came
Yeah.
out,
What's that? What do you mean? I didn't get the question.
Doesn't that show that he genuinely likes her?
Well, that
No,
speech
it's a
weren't genuine.
speech. You guys are right.
No, but he
Speech.
put himself out there.
What, it
on the
weren't
line.
genuine?
Words.
It's not like
Huh?
it's not like she came out
No,
and
you
then
guys-
he gave the speech.
You guys for real.
Men cannot win. Can you see what's going on here? She's just downplaying every. Go on. Put the camera on
What
her.
do you mean? No, I don't put a camera on. I don't care what you do. What do you mean?
I'm just saying. What? So
It was a speech. It's words.
so that meant nothing.
So you're saying that a woman should not go by your actions, she should go by your words.
His
I'm
actions.
asking a question.
His actions.
I'm asking a simple question.
His actions.
Answer my question first. Answer
No,
my question.
no. His actions.
so-
His,
so-
his actions matched his words.
Are you sick? Are you a sicko?
Did you
when
not
they
watch
closed
Castle
up?
Mario?
Are you sick?
From when since they've been closed off?
Was she there to see his actions? Was she there to see his actions?
That doesn't matter.
What-
Since they've been
that
closed
doesn't-
off, his
okay, I'm
actions
done.
match
I'm
his
done.
words.
I'm done.
Wait, ask me this.
I'm not going to have a
Since they've been closed off, yes or no?
If you're not going to be fucking for real, I'm not going to conversation with you.
Since they've been closed
He
off,
did actions in her absence, and what she did not know was happening is what she should have gone by. Are you an egg?
I'm asking. No, I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about you from what
Otherwise,
you've seen.
actions.
No, but forget what she knows. I'm talking about from what you've seen. Since he's been closed off, has his actions matched his speech words?
No! Don't
How?
gasp. No. I'm talking about his, like, so you're telling me, yeah, he did all that speech. But his actions towards this girl was hatred. But the actions of love, I told you that he said he misses the game after the boy, whatever. His actions of love in her absence is what she should have felt in her spirits. And that's what should have guided her to not bring in a new man. Are you hearing yourselves?
Esther, sometimes I miss chicken wings. I ain't going back.
I don't believe that. You've had some chicken wings in your time.
I don't believe that.
That is not a good example to draw on. That is not a good example for you to draw on. What are you guys talking about?
If I was
he played stupid games and he's won his stupid prizes. He needs to enjoy it. That's it.
He played dumb games and it backfired on him. It did backfire on him.
It backfired. But he wanted to do the whole, oh yeah, I've got 100 plus bodies, I'm that guy. And he wanted her to come in all desperate. The fact that this guy even said to Molly, yeah, you're going to let Ella know that I've been good, right? That to me just shows that you're not genuine in what you're doing. You want people to come there. Second?
When did you say that? At Casamore?
Yeah, Casamore. Because obviously Molly's there.
But is that really the game thing?
It is the game thing. Because at the end of the day, yeah, Scott didn't have to say to anybody, when Catherine gets here, let her know how I've been behaving. She didn't have to do that. No, Leah didn't have to say to other. Sorry, Leah didn't have to say. Leah wasn't really checking for the guys like that. She didn't have to say to the other girls, when we get back to the villa, let the boys know. No, because he's playing a game. He's not a trustworthy person. He didn't show himself to be trustworthy. So it doesn't sound wild to me that she did not stay true to him. He gave her nothing to stay true to. Nothing. Not a damn thing.
I hear you.
Nothing.
You know, the thing is, I agree with you about the whole consequences thing. I understand that. But I feel like you should still feel sorry for Tyreek. Because
I'll be honest with you, yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Only because I feel like as much as he did nonsense before, remember, like this is the only episode that I've seen it. I only watched it because of what you guys were saying it. So I don't know all the details about what he did. But from what you're saying, all the nonsense he did come to a point where he said, you know what? Line in the sand, I'm done with that life. I want to chill with you.
Redemption.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel I'm getting from this, isn't it? Right?
Would you allow a woman the same grace after she's rebuffed you time and time again?
If I'm sitting there with that woman and I'm saying, okay, cool, closed off, I'm done. I know you did me dirty before, but I'm cool with us moving forward. Then I think it's a new start.
All I'm going to say is, yeah.
But y'all said y'all could only deal with stuff that's in front of you, right? Not theories, right? Mm-hmm. So in the moment, she was, okay, yes, right? But then when she got to Casa Amor, that's a new moment.
Yeah.
Is that a new moment?
A new reality that was in front of her. And she's like, okay, all right, let's see where this goes. But if I was Tyreek, I would know all that was just a front. I wouldn't be moving as silly as he's moving. And I don't know, you will be moving as silly as you're moving. Because you know all that is a game.
Do you know what it comes down to as well, yeah?
Pull you out to your particular position, more fool on you.
If I'm Tyreek?
Yes.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, I understand, obviously, the whole consequences thing, innit? Like, he did all that type of stuff. But again, this is why I feel sorry for him. You know what I'm saying? I think this is why the world feels sorry for him. Because at the end of the day, he tried to make a difference. And he went over there to Casa and was like, look, all these women are here. I'm not going to do nothing.
All I'm saying is
it's based on what you guys are telling me. I've not seen it.
Yeah, that's what he done.
Wait. So he went to
didn't bother
Casa?
them.
Yeah, he was there.
Wait. So she went to Casa. He went to Casa.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he saw the lay of the land and he's like, nah, Ella.
Yeah, basically.
But if he saw when I was behind Ella, then he would be moving. Oh, yeah,
No,
sorry.
that's
You
not
said
true.
you can't deal with
Yeah,
theories.
that's not
Sorry, you can't go there.
That's not true.
Even though, even though the entire nation expected Tyreek to move mad, but we can't do hypotheticals.
Sorry.
No, you can't say.
expect-
My bad.
You can't
The
say.
whole nation
You
expected.
can't say he never
wait.
saw girls there that was better than Ella, because there was decent things there that he could have moved to if he wanted to.
Do you know what's mad, Brent? The
that
whole
was on Ella's
nation.
level, or better than her even actually.
Wait, the whole nation, yeah, expected Tyreek to move mad. That is us. We only get 1 hour of the show 5 days a week, yeah. But Ella, who lives with this man 24 hours a day for the past, 4 weeks, who we've also seen, like, act the way he's acting, whatever, she should be the one who expects differently from him.
I told you that's what these men think.
You're on
Women are
crack.
supposed to be acting like men.
That's crazy.
No, because I think you are just changing the narrative. It's not even about that.
To be honest, I was reading
These are
your
creative,
timeline. I wasn't reading your timeline, but I checked your timeline just to, when it's checked, but
It's a gauge.
just to see if you were tweeting angry, passive, aggressively. But never mind. That's a different thing altogether. But I saw you change in real time.
Yeah, so did I. It was so funny.
You changed sides in real time.
Phony?
Yeah, he's 100% he's a phony. But right now,
How am I a phony? I wear
Because
my
you
heart on
are-
my
you
sleeve.
are-
you want to change your mind, but Ella isn't.
I wear
Don't
my
tell
heart on
me
my
you're-
sleeve.
Shut up.
You want to change, but Ella isn't.
I said I went my heart on my
I
sleeve.
wear my heart on my sleeve. You get what I'm trying to say? I was here for it. I was here for the tears. And then when we saw it play out, now you don't know. When you know better, you do better. When you see it, you know what I'm trying to say? So yeah, I wanted the bloodbath like the rest of you. But when I saw it, I said, "Oh no, this is not right.
All right.
This is
I
wrong."
want you to keep this same vein of, when I know better, I do better. When we get onto the topic of the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, what's our topic of the day?
Never mind.
You.
Oh, man.
By the way, you know what?
We'll
All in
test
all,
this
man.
out.
No, you see the funniest thing that happened, yeah? Uzi said to him, "Oh, what's your name, brother?" If I was Tyreek,
easy,
yeah,
man.
I would have punched him up and threw him in the
It
pool.
was easy.
Uzi said that to Tyreek.
You would depend.
The bobby pin you.
Can you imagine?
Let me tell you now, yeah. You coming
Brother.
there with my gal. You don't been talking about me all week.
100%.
You don't been talking about me all week. Furthermore, yeah, Maya just said my name bare times. Like, Tyreek, how you feeling?
You're right,
Tyreek,
Tyreek.
are you alright?
How are you feeling,
The
Tyreek?
producer gave him that line.
What's your name again?
The producer gave him that line.
And my
I
man,
love it.
He
and my
doesn't
man
even look like
answered
he
and
said
said
something like that.
Tyreek.
The producer gave him that line.
I'll be honest with you, yeah. Uzi, yeah. I don't think we saw enough of Uzi.
Tyreek, how you feeling? Man said, what's your name?
And then he said to him, no hard feelings. Tyreek was like, what? He said, no hard feelings, man. He was like, no, it's all right. It's not even about you. It's just that, I was thinking, shut up, you little boy.
What? Who's
When
said
you-
no hard feelings?
Yeah.
He's not even keeping Ella. He doesn't even have Ella.
Listen, yeah.
I'm
All
getting
I'm
vexed
saying,
now.
all I'm saying is, yeah, that if Ella doesn't be with Uzi,
She's not going to.
that's fair, but she'll be an egg anyway. But if she's not, one of the other girls are gonna get him.
Oh, good.
But at the end of the day, yeah, I feel like this season of Defo is a factual representation of what the dating scene is in this UK.
Serious.
And until people wake up, you are gonna keep chopping breakfast.
Can I ask a
Because you
question
keep
quickly, yeah?
allowing people
Someone
to give
asked
you
yesterday what that
half-hearted.
means. What does chop breakfast mean?
You're gonna be heartbroken.
Okay.
So when Bernard said everybody go chop breakfast, it means at some point everyone's gonna be heartbroken.
Okay.
So
Can I ask a quick question?
Tyreek is
yeah?
the one to chop breakfast.
Before we wrap up, yeah. Do you feel like this could be, like, they could be the winners of Love Island? If, for example, they get back together, they work through it, and then the love prevails.
Yeah, I think they could
Could they
win.
do it? And
I think they could win. If they get back together, I think they could win.
They won't have my vote.
No.
I think they could
No,
win.
definitely not.
Okay.
But
Because
she-
again, remember, I think both of them are dumb. Like, I feel like he's playing stupid games. She's allowing stupid games to play on her. Like, I don't rate either of them.
Yeah, like, not to cut you, right? But obviously, one could say they were playing dumb, they were being stupid, the way they were interacting. But I think this shows, I mean, you could say Tyreek was only behaving like this because he was embarrassed, right? But one could say this shows how much he cares for her. This obviously shows how much Ella cares for him. They sit down, work it out. She makes breakfast for him for the rest of the show.
What's
Thinks
the,
a good deal. And then they win the show together.
what's that saying? Because you love quotes, don't you? The leopard doesn't change its spots. Who said that?
God.
Okay. And God is all knowing, isn't he? All right. I don't see how, Tyreek. Because Tyreek, do you know what he is as well? Because Tyreek is he's a child to me. When I see him, he's a little boy.
Okay.
And that's why I rate Uzi, because all Ella was doing and whatever, I even think Uzi is too mature for Ella. Because she's also got a very immature mind where a guy is treating you this way, a guy is making it clear to you that he does not want you, he's disrespecting you, but you're still standing there crying, and then you tell the girls you're done, and then nighttime you let him finger you. Okay. What's going
Whoa. Whoa.
the entire villa? Everybody getting fingered up in them rooms.
Well, for
Do you know what I
real.
mean? Like, when that's
I
not
think it's like
when
watching
that
this.
is not the problem.
I didn't know if people got fingered on national TV.
Do you know what I mean? So for me, like they're both kids. Like they're both immature. Like what's his name? Tyreek is a kid. He's a boy. He's a little boy. That's why he's so excited. I'm bragging about having 100+ bodies and the fact that he gets to say this about girls and all of that stuff about girls. And then now it's been done to you. Now your little feelings are hurt. I don't rate any of them. So, yeah. Good luck to them, innit? All the best all parties involved, but let's quickly get into our headlines.
Let's do it, man.
I swear there was a question, but never mind.
Do you want to do the question? I can do it.
Time.
Yes, please.
What are you most
it's
grateful
just-
for
just
today?
Quickly, huh?
Morning.
All right, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
And you can join the conversation, by the way.
Yeah?
Yeah. We'll get into your part in a minute, but you can join the conversation.
Okay, question of the day. What's one thing you're grateful for today? That I'm a woman that has sense.
Love Alan, man.
Love that for you.
Love that.
I love that for you.
Anything, right? Just
Anything. What's one thing you're grateful for today?
my daughter.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that's so wholesome. Look at her. I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful for the grace of God. I'm grateful to be loved by God. And I'm grateful that I'm a woman who knows herself and will never chop breakfast again. Put the phone down. Thank you very much. What are you grateful for?
Oh, you need to fix that.
What's going on? Oh, the camera.
It's blurry.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can tell I ain't done this before, sorry. I'm grateful for my family.
Love that.
So it's a cop out, it's it's a similar answer.
So that's a big thing to be grateful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they keep me grounded, so I'm proper grateful for them.
I love that.
Beautiful.
Brent?
I'm grateful for Margs at this point in time.
All right.
Yeah, my homie.
He's here with us.
Yeah, man.
Thank God.
Amen.
All right.
It was a little give and go yesterday. I'm lying. I'm lying.
Oh, he's thinking. He's moving like Tyree. He's thinking, don't ruin my reputation.
I'm lying.
What do you think is going on here?
Never mind.
All right, lovely. Let's get into our headlines.
All right, so our first headline, right? Trigger warning here. And a police watchdog has revealed that the officer who led the initial response to the Manchester Arena bombing could face criminal charges over statements he made during reviews into the attack. The IOPC, the Independent Office for Police Conduct, has said it will be referring a file of evidence to the Crown Prosecution Service, the CPS, on accounts of the night of the attack given by the Chief Inspector, Dale Sexton. Mr. Sexton, who is now retired, was previously cleared of breaching standards of professional behaviour or committing a criminal offence following the investigation which concluded in February. But the IOPC said a review conducted following a request from the attack victims' families found the offence may have been committed and a file of evidence would be passed to the CPS. Mr. Sexton was a force duty officer on the night of the bombing on May 22nd, 2017, and led the initial response on the night of the attack. He denied to the Manchester Arena inquiry in May of 2021 that he was overwhelmed by the situation and claimed he made a decision to not tell other emergency service responders he had declared Operation Plato, right, which is a planned response to a marauding armed terrorist, as he believed it would hold fire and ambulance crews back. However, he made no mention of going against protocol and keeping the declaration secret from partner services when interviewed in 2018 as part of the Kerslake report, which is an independent review into the emergency response commissioned by the Mayor of Greater Manchester, Andy Burnham. Second headline takes us to America, where the Pentagon, they've come out and basically said they're looking to change their security policies after a review into a big leak of classified files found officials struggled to keep up with the number of staff who had top secret access. New measures included the appointment of officers to control the level of access to top secret data and installing systems to detect electronic devices. It follows the unauthorized publication of dozens of classified files online. Ex-airman Jack Teixeira, who's 21, is charged with leaking the files, which he denies. The results of a 45-day review of Pentagon policies and procedures ordered by the U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin in the wake of the leak suggested the need to increase oversight for those trusted with classified national security information. While some existing policies will be reinforced, others will be updated and new rules developed to address existing gaps. This is what the Defense Department has come out to say. And the last headline takes us to Kyiv, where the Interior Minister Ihor Klimenko has said that a man has died after he set off an explosive device at a courthouse in the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv. Ihor Humenikyuk, who was detained in 2015 over an attack near Ukraine's parliament, detonated the device after barricading himself in a toilet. 2 police officers were injured as they tried to restrain the man after he tried to escape following a hearing. It doesn't appear that the incident is linked to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, but exact circumstances surrounding the incident at the courthouse are unclear, but a number of explosions were reported, one of which injured the 2 officers, which are mentioned, and another which actually killed the assailant himself. The policemen were later taken to hospital and are in stable condition. And that's pretty much it for the headlines.
All right, let's get into what you say in topic of the day.
All right, so before we start topic of the day, obviously I want us to introduce our guest today. In fact, let me let you introduce yourself.
Thank you for having me. My name is Nabil Al-Kinani. I'm from Northwest London. I'm 28 and yeah.
Okay, cool. So basically, guys, we're gonna have an interview with Nabil later on, and we're gonna go into why he's here, and he's doing some amazing work, which hopefully we'll be able to get to all the intricate details about it. But let's talk about today's topic of the day, which is obviously kind of based on the events that happened online yesterday, right? And it stems from obviously a conversation that we had on, was it Tuesday? Yeah, on Tuesday when Pepper was here. And obviously Margs was responding to something that them lot said about how, in the hood, drug dealers are grooming or trafficking, or what was the other word they said?
Yeah, because we're talking about the guy, the fitness guy, who's
Yes.
been recalled to prison. And one of his alleged crimes is human trafficking, but to do with drugs, of like sending little kids to sell drugs or whatever.
Yeah,
And then mentioned something about grooming, like that's a form of grooming.
exactly.
And that's where we went.
And then Margs pretty much said, that's not grooming, right? Well,
But I don't know if I said that. I just said I don't like the word grooming.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was more so like, obviously because of the connotations around that word, innit? You shouldn't really apply it to this particular situation, right? But obviously, this went out. It caught some headways and whatnot, right? And we had Lin Mei make a comment, right? Let me make the comment. Sorry, let me read it out for you real quick. And this is what got everyone kind of talking about this and kind of choosing sides or whatever it may be. But she pretty much said that Margs is supporting child labor and exploitation via selling drugs. This is what prominent voices in the community are proud to push. Oldest used to say no kids and told them to go home as this is a big people business, but the culture is fine with using 13-year-olds to sell drugs now.
You know what I took from that?
Tell me.
Key words. Prominent voice. Just, you know what I'm saying? Just, I don't know. Just wanted to let you know that. That's what stuck with me the most from that tweet. Prominent voice.
So like,
You better recognize. You're too funny, man.
but yeah, like when you first saw it though, what did you think? Obviously, beside the prominent voice thing.
I just thought I was Lynn chatting shit again. I didn't really think nothing of it, to be totally honest with you.
And with the amount of people that was obviously kind of defending her, right? How do you kind of see their point of view as well? Yeah.
I didn't see their point of views,
Okay.
so
Because you muted it.
yeah, I just muted the tweet. I didn't really see what they're saying, so I don't really know what they're saying, and I don't really care about their point of views because I'm not speaking to anybody who heard what I said and didn't understand. I'm not really speaking to them, innit, if that makes sense. And anybody who comes from my lifestyle and understands, then they can empathize with what I'm saying, innit. Like, so I'm not surprised that people react like that, or I don't expect civilians in the public to understand where I'm coming from, or I'm not even surprised why they're confused or whatever. If there was any vim there or whatever, then it is what it is. But again, it's chalk and cheese, isn't it? You get me? We come from different places and different lifestyles, and I stand on what I said. Maybe, and it sounds like people saying that man didn't articulate himself well, or whatever. But we wasn't having a debate or a conversation about that.
Yeah, and I think that's it. It's one of those things. You know, sometimes when clips go viral, and you're like, oh, watch the full thing for context.
You can't even watch the full thing for context because there was no. It was just a quick moment where man just said something, innit? So it wasn't even like that. It wasn't even about articulate myself or whatever. I just said what I said. If you don't agree, you don't agree, but you don't need to. And again, if we got more time to break it down, there's definitely circumstances where kids are being taken advantage of and grooming and these things are happening, 100%.
Yeah.
But in that situation, you can't say it across the board. We was talking about my man, was talking about all the good work he's done since coming home and trying to think for it and then getting sent home and it being injustice and all that, and then bringing up his past crimes and talking about grooming and calling him a group. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? That. So the whole language and the whole thing, I was saying that's brazy what we're doing here. You don't know who he fit out here. You don't know if calling him a groomer. My man, I'm not about it. So any way that gets mixed with soldiers is grooming kids now. That's not true. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? That's not fair, innit? So, again, I don't mind. Brent phoned me yesterday and I couldn't believe it. Like, he was like, "Oh, are you all right?" And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Oh, do you want me to take it down?" I'm like, "Why?" And he's like, "Oh, because it's picking up steam and people are saying stuff." I'm like, "What the hell's that got to do with me?"
Wait, calm down.
Huh?
Calm down.
Go on.
Hey, well, kind of.
Thank you. Oh, kind of. No, you're changing it.
Isn't that what you said?
Anyway, so I wanted to know if it is that you stood by whatever it is that it's going wrong. I know some people normally say that I edit stuff and I edit stuff out of context.
And don't you think that's funny, Brent?
That I edit
You
stuff
actually
out of
didn't
context.
edit this time. You didn't edit anything this time.
No, I didn't.
That's what's funny.
Precisely.
That's what's
Hilarious.
so funny. Because someone messaged me was like,
It's Twitter or something.
on his side.
Yeah, it's gone.
Someone messaged me talking about like, oh, Brent and his edits. I said, nah, Brent did nothing.
Yeah, nothing. Just press play. So tell me something. What is grooming to you?
What is grooming?
What is your definition of grooming? Because sometimes we use words and we have our own definition when it is we're using it. So I want to know what it means to you. So when it is that you said what you said, what did you mean?
What's grooming to me? Like, when you, like what Philip Schofield done to that youth.
How about you, Manuel?
Um,
Because you're a stickler for definitions and words meaning what they mean and not
yeah,
to
100%.
change.
I'm stickler for real definitions, but I'm also understanding that certain words have a colloquial understanding and meaning amongst people. And if you know this, right, you should be responsible before saying somebody is for child grooming and exploitation. You know what I'm saying? So yes, okay, grooming by definition, if you're kind of raising up a child who is, I guess, a sponge at that point in time, right? And getting them to learn certain things, this and the third, and they're raising it, growing them in this, one could say it's grooming. But you understand what grooming means. You understand the connotation of that word. So where's the responsibility before attaching to somebody? Do you get what I'm
I
coming
don't know. Maybe people heard me talking and look and think that I was speaking as
I don't
myself
know,
as an adult.
before we move on, Margs, I mean, we had a conversation maybe last month, maybe 2 months ago, where we were having another conversation about what a word means now colloquially amongst other people. But you're like, no, but the original meaning is this. Can you remember that? Was it meaty that we were talking about?
Yeah, it was
Mediocre?
about mediocre,
mediocre.
And at the time, you said, no, you can't be changing definitions and whatnot. You need to stick to what the word means. Can you remember that conversation?
Yeah.
But now you're saying...
Because the context is different. It's the very reason why when you're reading a particular book, you need to have textual criticism. You look at the meaning of the word and understand what it means in a particular context and time frame.
In this particular context, what did grooming mean?
What do you mean?
You're saying that we need to have an understanding of the context in which it was used.
Yes.
And
understand how people understand grooming. That's what I'm also saying.
People don't
So,
just
but
understand
he
grooming
used-
to be
he
sexual,
used-
though. That's the thing. People don't just understand grooming to be sexual. That's why the word was used in that conversation. Because grooming is not just a sexual thing. There's different forms of grooming. It tends to be that we tend to talk about, what we talk about the most is sexual grooming, but grooming is not just for sexual acts.
Of course not. But a lot of people attach it to that. And when you bring in child exploitation, when you talk about the charge of child trafficking, and all them things grouped together,
child
and say
exploitation-
somebody's for this.
Yeah, but I don't agree with what Lin Mei said.
that's what I'm talking
That
about.
irritated the shit out of me. But because I agree with you in terms of don't attach such things to somebody's name. Cool. But when it comes to grooming, which I think is what you and Brent were talking about, we can't say that because the majority of people think sexual grooming when it comes to grooming, we therefore can't use that word in the right way that it should be used. Because grooming is not just about
And
sexual
even
grooming.
in the context in which
I
it
agree
was
with
being
that.
discussed, where we are talking about sending children to country lines or even bring them into the fold within a gang. The girl who said it, she wasn't looking at Margs and saying or thinking, yeah, you're touching up them little kids. You know that. So nobody in the room had that on their mind. So when Margs responded, surely he should have also understood that what she said wasn't in the context of a sexual touchy-feely thing.
I didn't think it was in the I didn't think it was a sexual.
So how did you see it?
That it's just in just the whole manipulation side of it. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, people will watch me see that as an adult and talk like I'm talking now as an adult defending it for kids, and I'm not. You got to put yourself back into the situation and the time that we're living in it. So I'm talking as a kid, as a child. So when you start talking about these adults grooming kids, I'm saying, what adult? We're all kids. It's the blind leading the blind. If I'm 18 and my soldier's 15, we're kids. It's all kids. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, so I don't get what you are talking about, like with the blind leading the blind. Or even saying things, people saying, oh, you was failed by adults who exposed you to this or that, who exposed you to crime. What adult do I accredit for exposing me to crime? Like, it was on my doorstep from my walk outside. So what adult, who failed me to expose me? Who am I accrediting that exposure to crime? Like, just stepping outside, like, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, so these ideas that you have, like, oh, you was failed, this adult exposed you to this and that. It's like, all right, cool. I'm not talking about myself as a big man looking back now. I'm putting myself in that experience, innit? Exactly. So then when you're telling me grooming, I'm saying, who was grooming us? When talking about man was helping man. Like, man was helping man or looking after man or whatever. Who were these adults and stuff that you're talking about that was grooming man? Because we was all kids. It's the blind leading the blind. Like, nobody don't know better. I'm not saying anybody's doing wrong. I mean, I'm not saying anybody's right. We're all wrong in what we're doing, innit? But where's the nefarious grooming man having like the man like the Oliver Twist thing like that? All that stuff didn't happen. It's not. And I'm not telling you there's not examples of it not happening, but you're tarring people across the bush. And then when I hear people say stuff like that, I know you're not from my lifestyle. I know you don't know what we're talking about because you use buzzwords that you hear off TV and the media when you start talking to me about postcodes wars, county lines, grooming, and words that are part of our thing now because media's pushed it and this thing. But in our society, we don't use those words, those terms, those things that you're talking about. So when you start talking to me like that, I could tell you don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm trying to say? That these are just saying stuff. So it is what it is, isn't it? Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? But again, maybe I think a lot of that is people looking at me now as an adult and saying that I'm championing.
You're justifying it.
I'm championing getting young soldiers and making them work and stuff like that. And that's not really what I'm saying. I'm just saying you can't tar people with the same brush. It's just speaking to this youth, hearing his past crimes, seeing that we was talking about, putting him on a platform like trying to find some empathy for him, and the man's talking about grooming and that, calling him a groomer. And we don't know the situations of what he was doing. You know what I'm trying to say? That and them youths that went country for him or wherever, he might have been helping them. Now, you lot from a working standpoint might say, how's that helping? Or whatever. But you don't know what you don't know, and you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. We're in these positions. We're doing the best we can in a bad position. That's the point I'm making. What are you doing? All you lot sitting down there with your roof under your head, hot meals, jobs paid. You lot can think whatever you want and pass whatever opinion you want. Yeah. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to the youths in the streets. And that's why we don't care what anybody thinks. That's because we don't care what anybody thinks, because what you lot think doesn't matter. It's not changing or it's not impacting our life or my circumstances. Exactly. But what is going to impact my life is my brother who's going to drop me a Z because he knows I can't afford it. You get what I'm trying to say? I need to bring food home. My mum's there, my little sister's there, my I need to pattern in it. And this ain't ideal. This ain't the situation that I want to be in, but this is the situation I'm in. So all you are outside of it, I'm going to fuck what you are saying anyway. It doesn't even matter. You know what I'm trying to say? When you are talking about, why are they doing this? Why are they carrying weapons? Why are they doing that? It doesn't matter what you think. Because when that you sees me, he runs me down and he's pushed this knife in me, then what? I can't care what you think. Yeah. You can sit down here and say whatever you want. It doesn't matter, like, in the real life. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, and that's why I won't take offense to people saying anything, because it was a short second clipped up. There's no context behind it and all that stuff. It doesn't matter. All the kind of stuff, it doesn't bother me. This is what I signed up for. You know what I'm trying to say? That. So yesterday if people wasn't phoning me, I wouldn't even have known. You know what I'm trying to say? That it was like the third, fourth phone call. I'm like, all right, I got like, all right, can't you see I'm straight? Like help me, like it's cool. We'll go again tomorrow. You know what I'm trying to say? And I'm in a position of power that my opinion is valued and I've got a platform to put it out there. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, people even pay me for it. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, so I don't mind. I can go again. I can say something today that's going to piss people off tomorrow. Everything that people saying, it don't even come on my radar. You get me?
Yeah. That's beautiful. Thank you very much. We'll delve into that a bit deeper just now. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, hi. Good morning, everyone.
Morning. Who are you speaking to?
No, really,
Billy
Mo.
Oh, Mo. All right, cool.
Mo.
Yeah. I called a couple times, I think, before.
Yeah, we ran.
No, my thing is, you know what? First off, I actually wanted just to. This is a special topic for me. Obviously, I've started a recruitment company, especially for people with criminal records, and just trying to get them back into the working world. And what Margs is saying is very true. And first off, actually, I want to big up Margs because he's got 2 of his bedrooms fresh from the jail straight onto actually new opportunities, and he's doing something actually helping the people around him. And people think like, when you're actually trying to help people, you think, yeah, I'm going to change the world. But first thing you do is change yourself, and then you change the people around you. You get me? That's what it is. Yeah. And what he's saying is very true. A lot of the people that are talking about this, they've never been on road where you're not going to get someone 30 that's going down on the roads outside the schools and saying, yo, you want to go country, you want to go country, you want to go country. No, these men are amounts 13, 14, they're looking at the 15, 16-year-olds running around, all right, cool, I need to go to that level. They've already experienced something in their life, whether it's family, whether it's people that they've seen, whether it's just some youths are bad. You get me? Like, it's just naturally drawn to it. You get me? So they're thinking, all right, cool, this is the path that I want to lead, and these are the men that are already doing it. So you already follow that. And unfortunately, in the hood, where most of us grow up, that road is kind of already laid out, and it's a lot more patterned than the career road sort of thing. You get me? That's actually the problem, where a lot of the youths, they're like, all right, cool, the road thing, it's like, yeah, cool, you know what, man, just save up a little 40, 50 pounds, 60 pounds, whatever, how much your queue is, start off, all right, cool, and then I have to look around. It's not like a big 30-year-old telling man like, yo, you hold this, you hold this, you hold this. They just build up and you're moving up the level. The same way that really a career thing is, but obviously the road thing is a bit more different. This is the issue, and a lot of people aren't, they're looking for it from the safety of their ivory towers. That's where it is, and it's very easy to, it's very easy just to say, I would have done this, I would have done that. But, yo, you can even actually say anything to these little 14, 15-year-olds that are on road. That's the thing. So, yeah. So, like, and Lin Mei is a shot jockey. We know where she stands in the political field. So, it's one of them things where you're not... Margs is not in the wrong. And like you're saying, it was a little clip. That guy's actually changed his life. So, then, again, it comes up to when you've changed your life, are you just going to be... classed as what you was classed as thing. So look at like my man now. You get me? Like, he's actually tried to fight in, and what, people are just gonna keep bringing that back up. You can't. There's no progression. But then if he was say 5 years down the line, if he signed some mad deals and rare, everyone would be like, yeah, man, come on, he changed his life, and yeah, we're so proud of him. But now, man, are just calling him a groomer, where it doesn't matter. Where, you know, like, you can say groomer, and we can. Do the nuances about it, but you're going to be in a group of groomers. You get me? So everyone that's a groomer, you're a groomer. If you're classed as a groomer, do you get it? So obviously that's where the whole word's a bit more...
I see your point, which is hilarious, when you just picture it. So you have different levels of groomers doing different things, right? In different ways. Yeah. And you would just be put in that room and you'd be standing next to a guy who could be Philip Schofield. And you're still living like that. Okay, you're tired with the same brush to everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the whole point that I was making in the first place. Like, that you can't tar everybody with that same brush, and that kind of language and them kind of narratives that you are spreading are not nice. And especially, and I think it was probably the situation that we was actually, the conversation that we was talking about and having, innit? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, man was going on my man's page and trying to highlight all the good stuff that he's doing. And when you're talking about him like that, that probably just made me say, nah, man, this is, you've got to draw a line in the sand here. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, what are we doing here?
I think that's what it was. I think it was the grooming word. And because we mentioned human trafficking, because that is one of the crimes he was arrested for. And then the grooming. But again, because that conversation was literally just a moment.
Yeah. I
feel like from looking at the clip, people didn't understand your the point you're trying to make, which is that you can't not every, because when you say it now, explain it, it makes better sense. In that if it's 14-year-olds doing the same thing and then someone else 14, how do you see that as grooming? But I think the point you're trying to make is that it's not all grooming, because there will be some grooming.
Yeah, there definitely will be some grooming.
Yeah.
I'm not here to argue. That's crazy.
Do you know what I mean? So I think, it's
All
crazy.
right, Mo, thank you very much for calling in.
Wait.
All right.
Mo, what's your page? Because what he does.
Oh, sorry. Mo.
The roll code, Margs, I'm gonna message
Can you
you.
put a link in the chat, please?
All right, man.
All right, definitely.
Big up.
Love.
All right.
All right, big up.
Cool. All right, so I want to quickly as possible get the admin out of the way so we can basically go into the conversation I kind of want to have, right? Because I think there was a lot to learn and glean from you, because you've gone through things that a lot of people haven't. So it's an opportunity for us to basically discuss this. So let's get the crap out of the way. So initially, the clip, you can understand as to why it is that a lot of people found that clip edgy,
Outrageous.
right?
Yeah.
All right. You could understand why certain people said the definition of what it is that you're actually saying is grooming.
Yeah.
Right? You could understand that, yes?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Just quickly clear up the whole working people.
Working class. You meant middle class, not working class.
No, when I was just when I
People
went
are
up.
working, basically.
I mean, I'm talking about the whole workforce.
Yeah.
Because
Cool.
I'm calling them the working class.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
the whole workforce. Because we don't work.
Yes.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
So whether you're
Who's we?
the street man. Then.
Okay,
I'm putting
I
myself.
thought you was friends again.
No, I'm putting myself in the mindset of where I'm in the streets, innit? You know what I'm trying to say?
When you work.
When I was in the
That's
streets.
your hustle, basically.
Yeah, that's my hustle, innit? And so users that go to work are the working class. Because
Yes.
users are the workforce.
Yes.
We're not. Don't. It's chalk and cheese again. You know what I'm trying to say? That's what I was talking about when I was saying that. When I was calling
beautiful.
that.
All right, cool. Let's dig deeper into the actual conversation now. Now, can you take us there? Take us into this environment that you grew up in, and talk to us about the characters within this environment, the kind of things that y'all had to do, why y'all had to do it, and just start there. I need to be able to see what a lot of us don't know about.
You know what it is, yeah? I think like when you all the stuff that we're gonna say about the kids growing up, about being on the estates and not having opportunities and not doing this and all that, people are always gonna simplify it and to go back to like, oh, your parents, you had a bad upbringing, or like you was failed hair resident, and just simplify things and just not understand that like growing up in those communities, in those disenfranchised communities, yeah, and being in that just a boiling pot of just everything, like, and just trouble, yeah. You don't know how it's gonna influence you. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, and if you haven't lived it, you can't do it. You're talking about the failings of these parents. Some of these parents ain't got enough money to do the things that they want to do. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, there's parents that find themselves doing illegal things and in crime to feed their families and all that. Like, they don't want to do that. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, they don't want to do that, having to do little hustles and all these kind of things and residents there. These are good people. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, having to do side hustles, whether it be the women doing fraud and that and funny things. So we're in these positions, like, we ain't got nothing. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, we ain't got the money. Like, it's like you're saying, someone said, oh, little kids, they don't need money. What do you mean I don't need money? What, in the heat of the summer? What, when I'm outside, my mouth's dry and thing. Like, what are you talking about? Like, and then like, my mum ain't...
in your family.
Yeah, but like, my mum's got other kids and all that. She ain't got no job. Like, how many days of the week is she gonna provide for us? How many days of the week am I outside on the block with nothing? From sun up till sundown. You get what I'm trying to say? If my brethren don't feed me, I ain't eating. Like, and obviously you can say, yeah, you could just go inside or whatever, but sometimes there might not be nothing inside. Or like, I don't want to have to go inside. I'm a kid. Like, what are you talking about? Like, do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, and then plus you see other people doing things, getting things. So like, you start to understand. You know what I'm trying to say? And you start to understand, and the streets become your workplace, innit? Like, when you need for yourself, when you want to hustle, when you want to get, that's what it becomes your workplace. These are the things that you talk to. The things that I see, or that user will see as wrong, yeah, I don't know to be wrong.
Survival.
It's not even just like survival. The normalest thing in the world, like you waking up, brushing your teeth, jumping on your bus, going into your office to work, is as normal as me going, getting my bobs, bagging it up, phoning my fiends, and this is normal, the normalest life. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? That so these are the things that we're doing. So when there's people around there that are offering me opportunities to make money, bro, yeah, opportunities that I can't do for myself, how can you tell me I'm not going to take them? And obviously people are making profits and they're going to profit off you and all that, but you can't just say that it's always from negative means. They might, because man will have soldiers. There's sometimes when people got soldiers they don't care about, you know what I'm trying to say, which is true. This will speak to the grooming stuff
we'll
where
get
it's
to
just
that.
like
Yeah, yeah.
some man there's bare times where you got soldiers that you don't care about, and that's true. You get me? These men are just cannon for that, whatever. But this is the game, innit? There's gonna be times when these are your people. Like, you get what I'm trying to say? These are your people that you're working with, that you're earning money with, that you're trying to help, that you're trying to better their situation, bro. You know what I'm trying to say? That these young boys running around selling drugs and that, linking these big man crackheads and that 2 o'clock in the morning on the backs. These men will rob you and take all your things. Certain times you need that foundation, that stable behind you to know that, you're my man's runner. These don't know they can't touch you. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, to help you go through until you get a bit older, that you can go out into the world and do your own thing and you can look after yourself. And again, I'm not saying that these things are right. I'm not trying to champion them or nothing. I'm just letting you know, this is our life and our situation that we live in. You know what I'm trying to say? That so you can turn your nose up on it however much you want. If it's going to help me and benefit me in my situation, I've got to be here for it, bro. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? That what are you talking about? So the streets are the streets. I think it'll be hard to like paint a picture of what it's like, because it will seem like man's trying to romanticize certain things or whatever, and then anybody who hasn't lived it, who can't relate, it's not gonna hit. It's not gonna hit. Like, you're not gonna. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, you're not gonna get it. Like, no matter what I say, there's always gonna be an alternative. Oh, you didn't have to do that because you could have done that, or.
You're sat here as an adult and you're able to listen to what you're saying your experience was or your environment was, and you're able to discern that some people might think I'm romanticizing about this, right?
Yeah.
Did you have that level of awareness when it is that you were young?
No.
Did you ever look to your elders and you saw what it is that they had, and you just kind of wanted that as quickly as possible without working for it, in essence?
Yeah.
Did you feel like that was some element of, ooh, I'm romanticizing? Oh, I'm not even thinking about how you got that or what you had to do to get that, but put me on that.
Yeah, I just want it. Yeah.
What do you put that down to?
What, that feeling? Having that feeling?
Yeah. That you didn't think about what as in placing your life in that particular jeopardy in order to get that.
Mm.
You just wanted that. Because children,
because you can see it. Whatever the means that they went, because I know the means that they went to get it. If that makes sense. So you're there already without.
But there's no fear attached to it. There's no fear that you would listen to attached to that, right? Or it was. Yeah, I can do with this. I weighed it up, and yeah, I'll put it on the line.
There's no fear because there's no. It's like it's this or nothing, innit? If that makes sense. It's like you either want it or you don't. If that makes sense, you're either involved or you're not in it. So if you could see someone with a flashy car, and you want the flashy car, and you understand that these men are out here selling drugs and all that, if you want that flashy car and you want to get it fast, it's the decision that you make for yourself, innit? I either want it or I don't. If you say you want it, you know the lane and the route that you're gonna go down to get it. So there's no real. The fair's in the initial decision, innit? It's either if you want to go into that road, because there's bare kids in the estates and in the streets who actually don't make the decision to go down that road, innit? Mm-hmm. Do you get what I mean?
Before we get onto that, good morning, caller. Give us 1 second, please. 1 second. Are there some kids who don't know what you knew, who didn't know what they needed to do or to give up within themselves in order to achieve or attain that thing that was just glittering?
Yeah.
All right, okay. And there are certain men, elders, who know that some of them don't know. There's certain elders who deliberately don't tell them that aspect of it.
Well, like keeping it from them
Yes.
so they can't flourish, you're saying?
Not that they can't flourish. They still want them to flourish.
So they don't make that decision because you're armed with more information.
Because if I tell you everything that you have to put on the line in order to attain this, you might change your mind and I might not have a runner.
Yeah.
And you know of those men also, right? Those quote-unquote bad faith actors.
Yeah.
In the space.
They would be in the space always. It's going to get mixed with good and bad. So that kind of,
Because growing up, I've never experienced that life. He used to live in Pembury, innit? So he's seen this left, right, and center. But I've always known that there are different types of children, just like the different type of adults. Right? So there'll be things that people or children would see and they would decide, I've got my own agency. I know what is what, and I want to make this decision to do this particular thing. But they're also children that haven't got a clue. Or they might be
but in our mindset, we would more the one we would more look to. That's why it's not grooming, because if you're gonna try and make a kid something he's not, you're gonna get into problems. Like we would more want the ones that are on it, rather than the ones that are not. That's why I was saying there's not like a big scam going and finding the ones and then trying to trick them coming around. Like you'd more want the ones that are on it.
I pause that because Mash Tongue was a different drip entirely, right? All right, pause that. Good morning, caller. What's your name and what are your thoughts?
Good morning. It's Jay.
Jay, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Just a point about parents and families. I work in the housing sector. And I work on a very big estate, not a nice place. And there's massive difference between some parents. I've got parents whose children are involved and they don't want help. And I've got people whose parents want to get off the estate because they want to protect their children from what's going on. So it's like, I don't like when people say, oh, it's not the family, it's not the family. Us as adults need to skip, because you're putting your people who will just let their kids run the street and they don't do nothing about it. It's your child. It's your child's livelihood. You're putting your child in danger. You need to put your children. There's a lot of free things going on in the communities. Some parents don't care to take their children. They really don't care to take their children. There's employment engagement. Again, some parents will not. Do you know what? I don't want to speak too much because I don't know who's listening or what, but I deal with a family who the son is involved in county lines, confirmed, and mum will deny to me that that's going on, which that's their business. But then we're trying to help him get employment. She's not interested. She just keeps giving as to why he can't go to work. What do we do? That's sorry, I have to put it on her. That's her fault. It's her fault. So I just wanted to pick up on the whole family situation, that sometimes these parents are even maybe grooming their kids themselves, because you're encouraging them to not live a better life for themselves. You know what's going to happen to your child. And then when something happens to your child, we're getting the blame for not moving you or I don't know. But yeah, also I just wanted to make another point. I've gone blank, sorry.
Okay.
I've gone blank. Yeah, sorry, on grooming. Again, another case. I've got an older gentleman who's vulnerable and he doesn't want to be involved, but people have taken advantage of him and basically taken over his flat. So the term of grooming, anyone can be groomed. Literally anyone can be groomed. He's been befriended because he's vulnerable. People see that he's vulnerable, and now he's got drug dealers in his flat. So it's not just the whole sexual thing. And adults do it to other adults. Kids do it to kids. Kids do it to adults. Do it to kids. Yeah, that's my contribution.
Thank you very much for your contribution, Jay. We appreciate that.
Thank you. All right, thanks.
Bye.
Grooming just makes me think like they're just saying that they got like there's like 50-year-old man with like 11 and 12-year-olds got them making iPhones and things. That's what.
You never want to frame yourself as a victim, right?
No.
Ever. So when some people even suggest that the people who advocate for grooming could have possibly been groomed themselves and they just didn't know.
I told him, man, if I was groomed for greatness, baby. Like, so groom me, man.
You're
like,
so annoying.
What's
No, but I like the fact that if you're now saying that grooming can be used for other things other than
Positive.
fill school fee.
I've said that though. If that's the case, then like, boy, if a man's grooming, then groom them up, man. Some people need grooming, man. You get what I'm trying to say? That some people need to help.
Good grooming.
Some people need help. You get what I'm saying?
All right, cool. So let's get on to what would be the ideal scenario environment that you would have wanted to have grown up in? I know you said that you can't deal in hypotheticals or theories outside of reality, but as an adult now, as you sit there and you know better, what would you have wanted to change? When you look at the scene right now and you're seeing the younger generation, they're moving differently than the principles that you and your people stood by or ran by.
I don't look back at my life and think I want to change anything. There's always events and things that happen that I wish didn't or could have went differently or whatever, but I'm very much of the mindset that I'm who I am because of where I'm from and what I've been through, innit?
No, I hear that.
Yeah, so I get it. Like I've never looked at life like that. I wouldn't change anything.
All right, cool. How would you like to raise your son? Maybe that's a different question that you could possibly get into. Would you want him to have the same environment or upbringing as you had?
It's weird because there's a part of you that would, because of like...
I beg you process before you answer the question.
No, I'm just saying because of like the community and the culture and stuff like that, there's a part of me that would want my son to have some of it.
Which parts?
Just
the community family part.
You've had the qualities that you made, the good qualities you were able to get out of your circumstances. I feel like that's what you'd want him to.
Yeah, maybe because I wouldn't if I just changed my lifestyle and just raised him up as someone totally different, and then look around, he's 18 and we just grew up in the suburbs and just lived. Obviously, I don't know what that child would look like or how I would like, if that makes sense. I would want some of me in there, and that is part of my makeup. I don't know how much it actually means or whatever. I don't know. It's not the negative stuff. I don't want him to be on the streets or nothing like that. But I would want him to know life. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't know. I just want him to know life.
I want specificity in this because this is dangerous.
Because are you saying like, so for example, you're a very disciplined person, you're a hardworking person. I can see you raising your son in the country, as in like in suburbs or whatever, a nice area, but you raise your son to be a disciplined person. You raise your son to be hardworking.
Yeah, and to know that I would want him to know, I'd want him to know where it comes from and value of things and stuff like that.
So not just be a sport brat.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that he needs to be in an environment in which you grew up in. He
That's
just needs to
true.
be exposed to the things that you got exposed to.
That's
because
true.
you said it's made you who you are, but again, as you know better, you do better. You said you wanted to be middle class. That's what you've been saying all this time whilst you've been here. You said you wanted to have lush this, that, and the next. Mm-hmm. Did you even mean that?
Yeah. But that doesn't mean that's what I want for myself. He's got to come up and earn that shit.
You want him to streetwise.
Yeah.
Basically.
That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Not experience the streets. You
Talk
want
to me about how you basically impart that without him growing up in that environment.
You kind of don't. It's kind of
hard. I want
hard.
you to pause. I want you to think about it.
Good morning, caller.
Can you?
I didn't grow up in the streets, but I'm streetwise. You can. It's possible to do it. Sorry. Caller. Morning, caller.
What's your name and what are your thoughts?
Hey, it's Black Rob again. Black Bob again.
Black Bob.
Black
We
Rob.
saying Black Bob.
Cool.
Black Rob.
Black Bob. Sorry, I'm sticking to that name now. So basically, what I found interesting is that I think Margs is battling with the terminology grooming because, as you said, it's got negative connotations. And what I found is that in the black community, there's criminality that is accepted and there's criminality that's not accepted. If someone mislabeled a street guy a murderer, he might accept that label even if he's not one, because he knows that there's positive reputational merits that you get with being seen as like a killer or whatever. But if someone said he was a rapist or a groomer, he would reject it, even whether he is or isn't, because he knows that there's no positive connotations or reputational effects of being called a groomer or a rapist or so. So what I find interesting is that depending on what the criminality says about you on a reputational level is whether the person will accept the title. I think that's something that's quite interesting about our community in particular. That's why someone could be grooming, but they just don't. I think Margs is battling against that title because it sounds kind of nasty in comparison to if he's a scammer, or if he's a fraudster, if he pushes drugs, or whatever.
Yeah,
So
I
like to challenge ourselves on all of that stuff in terms of like, if it's bad, it's bad. If it's good, it's good. We don't just accept the ones that are like, oh, okay, yeah, my guy's on road and he's doing this thing, so that's cool because he pushes drugs. But if he's talking to little girls, then okay, no, I can't
openly accept that because you don't get no stripes for that.
But that you're right. That's probably what it did stem from, the language. But we can't ignore the fact that, and it's not just in our community; it's all over the world. Like there are crimes that are deemed acceptable, or if you give context to a situation, people are prepared to accept it. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, not all crimes are the same, innit? That's why you got different sentences and different things in it. So like, that's not unnecessary. Like that is what it is, isn't it? Like, so if in a situation where people need to eat, yeah, if you have to be a thief, then you're a thief, innit? So people,
but I'm gonna challenge you on that, you know.
No, but people that's got all the money in the world will look at them thieves and look at them like they turn their nose down on them, looking at them like they're in their community. People without no money understand that they had to go and steal that bread to eat and feed their kids, and they're not going to look at them in the same way. So it's just about perspective, about where you come from. We can't tar everything with the same brush.
But I'm going to challenge you on that. Do you know why? Because you actually being quite honest before, where you said a lot of times some guys are just seeing a guy with a car and they're like, I want to get down or get it fast. So I think I don't know stats in this, but I feel like 90% of the road guys are just it's all about instant gratification. They got no discipline. They don't want to do the long road. And there's probably a small percentage of them where it's like, oh, I have to live. I need to live. I can't pay my light bills. We're going to get evicted. And there's others that's like it's just a quicker road to where you want to get to. Some of them, man, are smart enough. I grew up with a lot of these guys. They're smart enough to do a lot of, I grew up with some of the guys that they did some of this stuff, made some of their P's, and they're smart enough to get out, and then they started owning businesses. And like, they're smart, they're astute enough to actually run a business and watch their money. But I was like, you could have done this from the beginning, but it would have taken longer. So you just did a quick road, and fair enough, it worked out for you. But it's like, it just shows that they're smart enough to be able to do that stuff. They just didn't want to take the longer road. And that's what it is. It's just all about instant gratification. I see the road, man, the same way I see the girls with BBLs, man. they don't want to put the work in. They want a quick wins.
Sorry. 100%. 100%. I was slow there, Black Rob. My apologies.
But,
thank you very much for calling in and challenging Marks. That was absolutely amazing. Thank you for your contribution. Later.
You know what? Yeah, I want to hear from Nabil, because obviously Nabil has been responding. I'm seeing you nodding here and there, and obviously I know that the work that you're doing as well, obviously, is in areas that we're talking about, basically. You know what I'm saying? So what's like your perspective on this?
I can't lie. I agree with what Margs is saying. It's a very nuanced conversation. Like, it's not black and white. I think a lot of people who make comments.
Good morning, my people. Them.
One second,
sorry,
please.
Nabil, sorry. Kevin, can you just wait a second, please? Thank you.
Yeah.
Bless. Sorry, Nabil.
I think people who make comments don't really know the reality of the situation. Like, a lot of people make the assumption that everything is a choice, when in reality, like, we live in an environment where choices are very limited, and we're surrounded by vulnerable people. So like what you were saying, like the blind leading the blind, and it's a series of like a lot of contributing factors, especially with the society that we live in. They don't really value melanated skin. They don't value anything that's not of a particular group, and so you get locked out of certain opportunities. My man on the call earlier, Black Bob was saying a lot of these road guys were kind of started off moving food, and then they opened their own businesses. But in another life in the suburbs, a middle class person wouldn't need to move food because bank of mum and dad are gonna put the startup capital. Do you get what I mean? So I think people need to be a bit more aware on the choicelessness that the man them face, really. But yeah.
Okay. Thank you, man.
Well, go on, Kev.
Yes, boss. So I'm killing.
You tell him, King.
Yeah, I'm alright, but I hear you. They don't understand where man comes from. That's where it is.
They don't get it, Kevin, man. Talk to them, man.
Stuff,
Kevin, I don't even believe
don't
I don't even believe you, Kevin.
In your bag right now.
I lived on the Owlsbury when the Owlsbury was the Owlsbury estate. Biggest estate in Europe. You can Google that. You Google it will come up. Yeah. You also have to understand that what my man said earlier was part true, but part not, because the system singles us out, right? They deliberately put black kids into isolation and into these temporary reform schools. Like, there's a boxing academy in Hackney. They deal with exactly that. They deal with the kids who have been kicked out of schools, and then they get put into classes, isolation. They don't get the right teaching. So you're already starting with a minus next to your name before you even come out the race. Now you're coming from a single parent household where they've separated our black households and parents from each other. So now you're coming from a single parent household. Mommy ain't got the money to be able to get you the new 110s. She just can't. And you can either go and be one of the victims who ain't gonna get the love, or is getting robbed, or is not getting the attention from the gal them without the 110s, or you can eventually go and do something about it. You know? Yeah. It's not necessarily right, but it definitely is reality. And reality is never as nice as we wanted to make it out. And Esther, as much as I love you, baby, you are definitely not streetwise. She said the weed. When you be calling it the weed, we know you ain't streetwise. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Wait a minute, because you're an egg. I was gonna agree with everything you're saying, because you are making sense, and I definitely share the same sentiment. But me not knowing what drug is what that's not what streetwise is about. Smarty pants. But make your point and don't at me. Don't at me this morning. Sir Kevin, don't at me this morning. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, and I think people go on and get like the moral compass comes out, and then we start talking about what's wrong or what's right, and then when we start defending stuff, people think we're trying to champion things and tell you that this is right and this is and it's literally not about that. You know what I'm trying to say? That, and it's not about that. It's not. We're not saying this is right. No one don't want to be on the streets. Ideally, no one would have to sell drugs or do all these things. You know what I'm trying to say? That that's not what it's about. No, but the reality is the reality. Where that's where we are. That's the position that we was in. And there's hundreds of thousands, millions of people in that position, innit? You know what I'm trying to say? And they got to do what they got to do, and it is what it is. And then there's people that's not in that position sit down, like you're saying, from their ivory towers and make judgment. My thing is, you're not doing nothing. Even people that's sitting in the comments has got all these wonderful opinions. They're not doing nothing.
Wonderful ideas.
No, all these wonderful ideas. They're not doing nothing ever, nowhere. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I talk with a lot of them. I can't. There's only so much I can do. Yeah, but I'm a man like I got with the courage of my convictions. I try, bro. It's like what you're saying. I take my brothers to come from prison, put them on platforms for us to make legit money. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? That I be doing that stuff. I be going around grabbing kids that be rapping and that, giving them platforms to put themselves out there, be paying them my hard-earned cash, my pen game stuff, giving them thousands of pounds at a time and like that. I do things where I can. You know what I'm trying to say? That. So I don't just talk about it, I be about it. And it pisses me off. People just chat shit. Like, cause they just don't care. Yeah. And all they do is just chat shit, bro. Like, the world's fucked up, man.
Facts, man.
Yeah. Like I said, man, I work with a lot of young men, and I see this all the time. You see them coming in and daddy ain't there. So who's going to teach them the discipline if daddy ain't there to teach them the discipline? Where they going to get it from?
It's crazy.
But that's my call anyway, my people. Them love the show. Keep up the work. You hear me?
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Safe,
Bye.
Margs, I can see this is very dear to you. Question, right? Let's just say we fast forward 3 years, you were a media mogul, your money's longer than it currently is. You're setting up initiatives left, right, and center to magnify.
Hello?
Yeah, good morning. Hold up, please, caller.
Can you hear me?
Yes, hold up.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you can do more with your money now, right? You have other drug dealers who would be in a particular position to do better for the community in which it is, that they might be screaming, it's the system. At some point in time, they don't really care about the system. They don't really care about changing the formula. because it benefits them, right? They want to keep things going as it is. They want to keep that pyramid scheme going as it is because it serves them. Now, I do believe a lot of the people who comment negativity, when it is that we hear a comment like yours, they have those particular bad faith actors in mind. Whenever they hear about drug dealers, whenever they see Netflix documentaries, it's never painted in a manner in which it is, they've reformed now and they're basically looking to do well with their money. It's always, let this continue churning. So just like the system is, they need that particular churning to continue to keep us down. They need that to still function, to keep their own community down. Do you understand? So sometimes when we have long form conversations or discourse like this, it's nice to throw in the balance, not just to talk about you guys don't know about this, that, and the next, to also call out those bad faith actors who are doing more to keep y'all in that particular cyclical negative spiral than anything else that anybody else will think.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, it's good to point it out because it's not, like I'm saying, don't just romanticize everything and just make it, like, it's good to point it out. But I think those kind of things not should go without saying, but just because they're there doesn't, like, we should understand there's going to be those kind of characters in all aspects of the world. There's going to be negative characters that are pushing that in every aspect of the world. Those people are going to be there. That's just the world, isn't it? Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? So then, but what? Because then people are there, then everybody gets tarred by the same brush then. Because there's people that's not doing illegal activities, but they're pushing out agendas and stuff that are made to keep people down and like what about them? It's the same. It's the same shit.
Yeah, and that's why I like when you say you're just getting on with just getting on, doing good. You're not going out there preaching this, that, and next. You're living the reform in which it is that people can't see when it is they see a clip that suggests you are saying, nah, this is good.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
I live by example, so I don't mind.
100%. And it's I guess it's on people like me to just say, because you won't go on and shout out this, that, and next. It's for me to highlight stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because you don't like to be talking about stuff like that because
we would not have addressed it.
Do you understand?
Yeah, cause I don't need.
So we all have our part to play.
Yeah, it was cool.
This is my fault.
It's not my part to go around and convince people. It's not my job to convince people of who I am and all these kind of things. And I told you one of my favorite sayings was, what other people think of me ain't none of my goddamn business. Yeah. So I'll leave them to it. You get me? Man was telling me last night, let's have a spaces or let's do a live to just talk and so you can control the narrative because people are saying, I don't give a shit what makes you think I care what people are saying. Let them say whatever they're going to say about me because I don't even care. Yeah. And I don't even know. You're just wasting all your time.
Yeah.
You get me? Like, well,
Elon should have kept the thing in the Twitter restrictions, isn't it? They wouldn't be so wicked like that.
Good morning, caller. Are you still there? You're probably not. All right.
No, it's gone, I think it was wrong.
Do you know, I think it is because adding to your point earlier, I do think as well, like the media has done a number on the way people see stuff. Like not from the streets, anything like that, but I know how it is that I grew up seeing certain things, like even when it comes to like drug addicts and just seeing certain things based on how it is that the media painted it. And obviously I studied sociology anyway, but even beyond like the textbook stuff, I've always had that fascination of understanding more. So I get the choice thing about the choice thing, because I feel like people saying it's immediate gratification, which it is, and people can be disciplined and all that kind of stuff. I recognize that you can make that argument from a place of privilege. Do you get what I mean? Like, it's easy for you to say that someone lacks discipline, blah, blah, when you're not the one who's in their position, facing the realities they're facing. Like, there's a lot of people who did not grow up in the streets or whatever, who would tell you that growing up, they knew the financial struggles their parents had and how it was and how it made them feel. Do you get what I mean? There's people who are workaholics now because it's like, growing up, we were poor, and so I never want to be in that situation again, where they don't have a healthy life balance at all because they work so hard to make sure they never go there. Do you get what I mean? So how much more if you're in that kind of environment? Yeah. But I think, I don't think you have to necessarily go through certain things to be able to empathize and understand why is it people make decisions they make when they're there.
Exactly.
It will always, you will always be able to say they could have gone with option B. Exactly. Because you're not the one who was faced with option A. Do you get what I mean?
Exactly. No one likes to talk about people's ability, like the inability to make the right choice.
This is it.
Even if you think I've got the choices here,
This is it.
how do you know I can make the right choice given my circumstances?
This is
People, for some reason,
And I like sorry, caller, and I like the fact that you even brought up like people's parents, where there's parents who they don't want to be doing that. Even people that came here legally, did you not know that they knew that they faced a risk of being deported, and there's chances where they might be deported. And do you know what I mean? Like, there's so many situations. Like, there's a lot of people that even Patricia Bright, she's a millionaire now, UK YouTuber, all that kind of stuff. And she talks about when growing up, her parents were illegal immigrants, and her dad basically got shipped back. And her mum one time had to leave them at home to go and work early mornings because she had to make money.
Exactly.
And she got by immigration, and she said she literally had to beg the man and be like, I've got my 2 kids. And even that is illegal. Like, leaving the kids at home like that was illegal. And she talked about, like, you know, when her mum would have to go and clean, they would wake up for school at 4 a.m. Do you get what I mean? So there's so many people that people have to do things that's...
Do you know how many parents have to take money off their kids?
It's crazy.
And they don't know where these kids are getting this money from.
Yeah.
And they know it's some type of illegal activity
But
because you ain't got no job and I didn't give it to you. So, but you get what I'm trying to say. But needs must. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, I prayed, I asked God to send me the money.
He sent my son.
And my son walked in with a bread. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? Huh? Should we be homeless now? Should we? Allow me, man.
Crazy, man. Yeah. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning, guys. It's Good Vibes caller.
Morning,
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Where you been, girl?
I'm done. Brent, I'm not going to do that one every time I call up, but hi, guys. No, I think that definitely, as we can all see in the comments, Margs took this one. I wouldn't say personal, but I get it because literally you grew up there. I remember when Kevin came up and said he was around when Aylesbury was Aylesbury. I felt that spiritually. I personally didn't grow up in Aylesbury, but I personally did grow up in a very well-known hood, and I'm not going to name many names. But I will say that, it's very easy for people to talk from like their high towers and stuff. And I don't know the actual specific story, like a particular news story that you guys are actually talking about. But it was just like, for example, in the comments, somebody saying that, people making excuses. It's like, that's the kind of stuff I get that I understand we'll get someone like Mark Tack. It's like, people aren't making excuses. And I think that actually, like, PTSD is a real thing. And like, they do say that like children that grow up in certain environments, they actually like are akin to people that have PTSD. And like, if you put a cat in a box, they're going to fight to get any way out that they can. And some people like, I actually didn't know that Patricia Bright's dad was illegal. I didn't actually know that, LOL. But I did know that, you know what I mean, she didn't come from like better place. I think maybe she was from Peckham or something like that. But the whole leaving your kids alone when you're like doing when you're meant to be kind of thing. I know many a mom that did that. I'm not gonna no face. I'm not gonna put my mom in the hot water, but you know, sis did what she had to do because she's trying to work multiple jobs to take care of her kids. And someone made a really good point about crime. Like, we do decide. Like, I guess human beings. And Mark said it's true. It's humans in general. We do decide what crime is more socially acceptable. But I do really want to put a caveat because I'm kind of obsessed with not true crime, but like these whole criminal minds when they find the answer and all this kind of stuff. One thing I will say is what is common human nature is that crimes against like children, like they threaten the people before they go to prison, and they're like, oh, listen, if you help us, we're going to put you in separate population because, you know, if they hear that you are touching kids, you know what's going to happen to you. Do you know what I mean? Even amongst criminals, there is that kind of line drawn with children. And I just want to kind of say that, like, obviously, because the word grooming was kind of being thrown around, and I understand that I get why it was making Margs uncomfortable. And I think that, like, it's irritating when, like, the wrong people are speaking up for us, i.e. kids that grow up in the hood, but afterwards, you don't need to grow up in the street smart. So let's not. I agree with that stuff anyway. The wrong people are speaking for us and trying to tell our story. But the thing is, I do think it's important. Like, I really understood from the beginning I got here late, but what Brent was trying to do, because I feel like it's not Mark's responsibility at all, no. But I feel like Brent was kind of trying to allow Mark to like evolve his thought basically to imagine that one day I would actually like it to be a case of where we are classing these things as grooming so that we can actually start to protect our children. Because at the end of the day, someone said something really good when they said vulnerable. Guys, vulnerable people, that's elderly and children. Like, at the end of the day, it's sad to say that the reality is in the hood, a lot of children don't get to be children. That's the sad reality. And obviously, needs must, isn't it? You got to do what you got to do. But I just think that, like, even though it's tight and we might not like to use certain words like grooming, we need to start to, pepper that language in there. And let's start, because things do need to change. I mean, like, because and also I'm not only picking on Margs because you guys dropped little like words and almost that makes so much sense. But when he was like, that's the reality. It doesn't have to be the reality forever. When's it gonna change? You know what I mean? So obviously in an ideal scenario, I guess that's why when Brent is saying, okay, well, let's do a dream scenario, what would we want kind of thing. And I get it can be hard for some people because some people haven't thought like that. But we need to have an imagination of what our future will be. And not just ourselves, but as our future generations, people that want to have kids, our community. We need to envision that at least so that it can get somewhere. Because at the end of the day, yeah, it happens everywhere, but certain things are higher. So, you guys are, let's not even bother, but certain things are in higher concentration in certain communities. And that's because things aren't our fault, beyond our control, but we should try and control what we can control. And obviously, I think that personally, if Marg was to happen to say that, yeah, low key, you can't look at it that way, but I guess it is grooming when you look at the definition of grooming. I think that if for example, you said that now, Margs, in my opinion, the kids that you're talking about that you're doing, because I think you do what you do in it. Like, I'm like that as well. I'm not talking about I do it. So I think those kids, I'm not kids, I mean, people, that respect you, I'm saying, would feel like, oh shit, okay, cool. Do you know what I mean? It makes it less not okay. Do you know what I mean? We can't just kind of continue to, so it's not necessarily we should vilify it, but we need to denormalize it more and more, the more that we can. So I'll stop there. Sorry, guys. I'm about to talk too fast. But yeah.
Can I say as well, just thank you, lovely, but just to clarify for people who maybe just tuned in, we're not having a conversation glorifying crime or glorifying making excuses for that. The conversation started about grooming and why it is that all situations involving drugs and the streets and stuff cannot be classified all as grooming. That's what we're talking about, just to make that clear.
Yeah, I didn't like people in the comments that were making it seem like people were making excuses for that lifestyle. Yeah. I didn't like that, but yeah.
But that's what people do.
That's what people do. People have selective hearing and selective understanding. And in the words of our brother E-Man, critical thinking's lacking.
There you go.
Good vibes, caller.
Thanks,
It's
good
been a
vibes.
pleasure as per usual.
Just was funny saying
Thank
like
you
people sitting
guys.
down
Catch you
there,
later.
sitting down eating their caviar, talking about this all sounds like excuses and choices you've not made, and it's like, yeah, everybody made the same choice, innit? This is what everybody picked. This is what everybody over there picked that.
How's that lobster tasting? Innit? How'd that lobster taste while you're giving that speech? Interesting, man.
Well, I think we've kind of spoke about everything in depth, innit? So I think we can definitely move on, man.
I'm glad we got to do that. That's good.
All right, let's move on to more headlines then. Maybe not.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, caller.
Hi, it's Valerie speaking.
Hi, Valerie.
Hiya. This conversation for me, especially I work in the children's sector, especially the children in care sector. So I see everything that Margs is saying today, like in present, right now. Example, last week I was looking after a 16-year-old boy that hadn't seen his mother since he was 11 years old because the mother was a drug addict. So obviously he was taken away from his mom. And even though he was taken away from his mom, the guy has been selling weed since he was exactly 12. He's now 16. And even though he's in the care system and supposedly we're helping him, he still has this mentality where he still needs to sell this. So fuck knows where he even gets this weed, because all of us are trying to obviously take him out of the lifestyle. But he gets big bags of it into the house that he actually lives, that is watched on a 24/7 clock. I don't know how he does it. And he'll sell half of it, keep it to himself, and then the rest he gives it to his supposed family, right? That obviously are also in under shit circumstances. So when people talk about like what Mark said, when people talk about, oh yeah, you have choice, no, they don't, because that's all he knows. All he knows is I need to make money to give to my family that he probably doesn't even have a proper relationship with. He just knows I need to stand up. I need to be a man. You're 16, baby. Who you need to be a man for?
That's sad.
And that's
He doesn't have any skills to get any other kind of job or anything.
That's the thing.
and probably doesn't know
And
that lifestyle even to probably doesn't even know where to start.
And might have difficulty in school as well. The kids that you find in inclusion all the time because you know that institutional racism.
Yeah, we've been trying to get him into colleges because obviously we've tried to move him away from the area from where he was, and we're trying to get him to colleges. And you know what the college is saying? Like most of the colleges for these kids are always saying, "Oh, sorry, you applied late, so he's gonna have to wait." And what's he doing at home? He's sat at home smoking weed all day and waiting for his peers to finish college and then do the same badness. So you're even making him stay at home to do even more badness rather than you giving him something to, occupy his time.
Now, and then the point that I would be making, all in all, and like I said, because there's definitely situations where people are being groomed, but you speaking about this kid having to earn money for his family and their habits and whatever it may be, my point, what I would be trying to make, if there's a brother, you're saying he gets his weed, you don't even know how he gets it. His money situation is not even that good
tried.
At all. All right.
We collected his phone. We collected his phone to try bug it to see everything.
Yeah,
we don't know how.
What I would be speaking to, what I'd be speaking to is, if there's a brother, giving this guy weed, like whether it be on consignment, whatever he's doing, and the brother could be making money off the youth. Granted, fair enough, But you telling me this kid's situation and me knowing that this is the weed, this is how he patterns up, this is how he's surviving, this is how he's helping his family, The guy that's giving this man weed, or if someone's out here running around moving weed for him, that man's not grooming this kid. He's helping him. And that's and like I say, it doesn't matter about what's wrong or right, because that's the situation that they're in. They're already in a bad situation, so everything's bad. It's already gone bad already. You get me? But in that bad situation, that man is helping him, and there's no two ways about it, whether you agree with it or not. You get me? So that's just what I'm speaking to. So then that person that's helping someone, you don't want to run around talking about that they're groomers and the negative connotations that have, and that's just what I'm speaking to. Everybody's situation is different. You get what I'm trying to say? But no.
It's like that show that everybody was obsessed with. Is it Top Boy with the mother being kicked out, and then the little boy was like gonna be added to the gangs and whatever, and he was already there with the bag, right? Yeah. It's like those type of situations that their parents are actually in shit, and this kid is forced to grow up to become a man or become a woman, and she has to, stand up, and you're just like, oh gosh. And then you're telling the child, no, you've got better choices in life, like stay in school. What am I doing there? My family's going to get kicked out. We're going to be on homeless, and someone's offering me a way out.
And that's the thing, because even kids knowing what's going on in their home in terms of knowing their situation, their financial circumstances and stuff, even that in itself robs them of their childhood. But as a parent, how you have to explain to your child that no, we can't afford this. No, you can't go here. No, I can't buy you these things. Do you get what I mean? And as a child, you want to help. You would want to help however you can. You don't have to be asked to help. Do you know what I mean? So it's difficult. It feels like it's like a hamster wheel. So it's just stuck.
It's literally.
Horrible, man.
And unfortunately, the system don't even fucking help as well. Working in the system myself and saying that, we're doing the best we can. No, you're not. When I tell my bosses certain things that's higher up that I know that they can change certain things, they actually don't change certain things. Example, there's another guy that I was looking after, and you could tell he had a passion for music. This guy could sing, he could rap, he could do everything. If what's his name, H wasn't there, that kid would be there. That's how talented this kid was. And I kept telling these guys listen, I know it's quite expensive, but just give him maybe even 1 or 2 sessions a month in the studio, something, just to keep his time, to keep him, motivated to stay away from the streets or something. You know what they told me? Oh, it's just a phase, Val. It's just a phase. Anyways, how is the school going? He's not going to school. Every time I tried to wake him up to school, he told me to fuck off. So what are you on about? Give him a fucking thing that he actually likes. Give him something to be motivated about life about. And maybe you see some change in a kid. But no, they'd rather not, because that doesn't help our budget. That doesn't help our profits or anything.
It's a shame, man.
Well, thank you very much, Valerie.
Thanks, Valerie. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day. Thanks, Margs, for talking and actually opening people's eyes, because people just chat out their backside without realizing the reality.
I don't think I opened any eyes.
I think you did, to be honest. No, I really think you did. You know, you opened up people's eyes, make them see that life is life and not joking.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Before you continue, Milo, you know what just dawned on me? Why it is like people find it so hard to empathize with drug dealers and whatnot is because we've been hyper focused on the grooming aspect of this thing. And then she just introduced another side of this particular wheel, which is their parents now hooked on these drugs and they're not even looking after, they're failing their children and they're forced to do something else. Do you understand? Oh my goodness.
It's such a broad thing. It's so broad.
Yeah. It's
very broad.
Heavy, man. Sorry, Rano.
All right, so headlines. So the Labour peer and professor, Lord Winston, has admitted he's not optimistic about the future of the NHS as the health service celebrates its 75th anniversary. The distinguished professor said he did not believe enough money was being spent organising how the NHS is run and that national poverty was undermining the delivery of the health service. Lord Winston, who's one of Britain's leading medical experts on the study of fertility, said an increase in funding for primary care in recent years had not actually helped the health service that much because the key issue was national poverty, which he described as a massive problem in Britain. He also said that we are a poor country because we've not managed our finances, adding that poverty had also had a knock-on effect on education and environment. Next headline is the House of Lords has voted to back an attempt to force the government to produce a 10-year strategy on refugees and trafficking as part of its migration bill. The Archbishop of Canterbury led the move to include the strategy in the government's flagship legislation to stop small boats from crossing into the UK. Peers have voted to approve multiple changes to the bill in the Lords, but ministers are expected to ask MPs to overturn the changes when the legislation returns to the House of Commons, where the Conservative government has a majority. The bill is central to Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's high-profile pledge to stop small boat crossings the English Channel, which is one of his 5 pledges that we spoke about earlier in the year. Earlier, Mr. Sunak's spokesperson said that the government would press ahead with its illegal migration bill, despite the string of defeats it has suffered in the Lords. The Archbishop has been one of the most vocal critics of the bill, previously condemning the legislation as morally unacceptable and politically impractical. One amendment would be to make it a legal duty for ministers to create safe and legal routes to the UK for refugees by next spring. 2 others reinstate and expand a right of appeal against age assessments for migrants claiming to be children. And the last headline takes us to Botswana, trigger warning here, where Botswana is urging UK parliamentarians to shelve or amend the bill that would ban the importation of wild animals' body parts like lion pelts, elephant tusks, and zebra hides. The Environment Minister, Nani Kareng, was speaking to BBC's Africa Daily podcast, where they said that it affects our business at home, the business around governance of our wildlife resources. British MP Henry Smith told the BBC that the law was intended to protect endangered species and that there was concerns about the source of money trophy hunters, pay to kill animals. Ms. Kareng, who was leading a delegation to London to lobby MPs like Mr. Smith, said they needed to consult countries that would be affected and invited the MPs to come to Botswana. She said that in Botswana, which has a big elephant population, trophy hunting brought in much-needed funds to help communities living in close quarters with wildlife. And in Botswana's case, hunting was well managed. There was transparency about how the money was spent and it prevented poaching. She also said that over the past year, through the community hunting quota, the communities received about £2 million in one hunting season. Poaching will be incentivized if people don't see the value, or people will lose tolerance for wildlife. This is what she was warning. And that's it for the headlines. It's time to pay those bills.
Let's get into Word and Road. All right, let me lighten the mood a little bit. Longer the songs in a bunch. So, right, I'm not really interested in it, but I just wanted to see what you guys thought. So, you know how Stevie J and Faith Evans got married, right? They're basically getting a divorce, and apparently it's like really bad. But they reportedly settled it. I think he wanted, from what I read, he wanted like spousal support and stuff like that. And yeah, they've had an agreement regarding the property and marriage and all that kind of stuff anyway. Basically, this is the way I wanted to go, what I wanted to ask you guys here, like in the middle a little bit. Would you guys feel away? I mean, you'd be dead to be fair, but I don't know, but would you feel away if your friend, no, how does it work? So Faith was married to Biggie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Stevie was friends with Biggie.
Yeah.
So would you feel away if, first of all, would you date or be with your friend, your dead friend's ex?
Nah, I wouldn't see it that way.
You wouldn't?
No, I don't think so.
Years
I'll probably
after?
just be there to support her family, support her and the kids.
No, but like years after though. Because theirs was like years and years and years after.
Like
I'll look after Margs' wife.
Fair. Fair enough. Or would you? So what's the other way if I switched it around? Would you mind actually if you're? I mean, would you mind from Heaven's Gates?
Like
if your friend was?
Like I said, I wouldn't even know, man. And in heaven, there's other opportunities.
How are you thinking you're gonna go to heaven and be a hoe up there? But no, my big up Faith Evans and Stevie. I hope they figure things out. It's a damn shame because I feel like she's not his. Because I feel being on Love and Hip Hop really just Stevie was just not it. So when I initially heard about the relationship and stuff, I just thought, oh, Faith, I want better for you, but I guess not. Anyway, so that happened. And then India Arie, the girls are down, man. The girls, it's not a good day for the girls at all. Not at home, not internationally. But India Arie basically criticised Megan Thee Stallion and Janelle Monae for twerking on stage. It's interesting though, actually. It's quite an interesting thing. So basically what she said was, there was a video obviously where they were dancing to a City Girls song and whatever. And she said, the issue is what is context? Humanity does everything, but does everything belong in a stage? No. Is everything for kids? No. Is everything for everybody? No. So when we as a culture make something like this mainstream, it shows a lack of discretion or discernment. To those in the comments who laugh at anyone who wants these things out for culture, you certainly have that right. Just as many folks have the right to want our mainstream international exports, our music to show us in a respectful light. I'd like to go on the record saying this won't age well, and that's my issue. I love Janelle and Meg the way I love us all, and I don't like this moment. Don't bother debating me. I don't care, and I do this. For 25 years, I've done this, so read, ponder, or don't. But then she came back anyway to defend her comments. So she says, I hate defending simple logic, so I'm just going to say this. It's not an issue with any of my sisters. I'm an old school, long time, affirming voice for women. My record speaks for itself. I love humanity, even in all its BS. And all I'm saying is context matters. Debate that if you want, blah, blah, blah. And why did I say that? She said, because just like everyone else, I'm entitled to my own opinion, but also I do this work, my whole adult work. She said, the work of uplifting and loving and affirming and supporting the wellness or Black woman and all people at large. How effective I was, I guess, depends on who you ask, blah, blah, blah. She said, so when she sees something that sparks her personal mission, she will speak about it. She said she's just one woman and this is her opinion. She said what I will never allow is for anyone to paint me as a person who would use other women for kindling in the burning down of the patriarchy. It's all love of the female artist, but I know firsthand how hard it is to be one. I've released 8 albums and have myself played the Essence main stage 6 times. What I see here is the mainstreaming of cults in my honest opinion, should be adult-only entertainment. And I've been saying this same thing for 20 years. Why? Some could say my ideals create a less successful business model. So I guess because she's not twerking, making less money. But I stand by them because my gut tells me to. So much more to say, but I don't feel like it. I'm in a big real life moment and have a bunch of stuff going on, blah, 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 blah. She's protecting her peace and whatnot. What else is important to her? Yeah, essentially. So I guess in a way she's trying to defend herself from not going against the... I don't know. I just think some things, if it doesn't align with how you would necessarily do things, if it doesn't align with your morals, your values, I don't think you need to go hard at the people who are doing things that doesn't align with your morals and your values. You just don't have to see it. Yes, you were in the Essence stage, but India Arie's songs do not require cheeks clapping. They don't. You can't really sing about being a video girl and you're twerking. Your music doesn't align with that. So if people are doing what they're doing, it is just what it is, man. But anyways, this is what I really, really want to talk about today, is Keke Palmer's man has showed his ass. You publicly declare your love for a man and they embarrass you. Hate to see it. So basically, yeah, Keke Palmer was at Usher concert and Usher was singing to her. And I think this is really what all of this is about. But he can't say he's upset that Usher was singing to his girl, right? So anyway, Usher was singing to Keke, and obviously the blogs picked up and I was like, the headline was Usher serenades Keke Palmer. Her man publicly goes and quote tweets a video and says, "It's the outfit though, you're a mum." First strike. And then before it even went as crazy as it's been since, people saw like what his likes were. They basically started doing like a deep dive and digging into him, and he's being cooked. And in my humble opinion, I believe that he deserves all the cooking there is. So he and Keke Palmer recently had a kid. The baby is like, no, I don't think the baby. I don't know if the baby is 5 months old, but recently had a baby, beautiful baby. It's all great, cool. I feel like if your partner is wearing something that you might deem inappropriate, or whatever, you can talk about that behind closed doors. Don't embarrass me on Beyonce's internet. Like, what do you think is going on here? And the thing is, obviously, when he said it, yeah, because I saw it, but I just said, oh, this is not going to be a story because he's obviously joking. I didn't think it was going to be a real thing. Alas, I was wrong because he goes on to justify his actions. So one of his likes here was basically Tracy Ellis Ross, who just has fun and just lives a great life, posted like a dump on her Instagram, right? And one of the pictures is her trying on these trousers, but she hasn't got a top on, but she's covering like her breasts. And someone quote tweeted that and said she's like 50. This is what I mean when I say society doesn't know how to spot a female loser. And he liked that. The Tracy Ellis Ross. You are going to like tweets about the Tracy Ellis Ross. So cool. So that happens. And then he went on to justify his whole calling Keke out in public about how she's dressing because she's a mum. This is also one of the reasons why people don't want to have kids, why women are delaying that. Because when they have kids, their identity is stripped. Now you can't dress, you can't brunch, you can't do anything because you should be at home taking care of your kids wearing a tent. Anyways, he then goes on to say, we live in a generation where a man of the family doesn't want the wife and mother to his kids to showcase her cheeks to please others, and he gets told how much of a hater he is. This is my family and my representation. I have standards and morals to what I believe. I rest my case. The internet didn't like that because he's a house husband. So for them, they were like, how can you say you're a man of the family when you're not even the one earning the keeps for said family? So basically, he's just been getting cooked. And then someone brought his poor brother into it. Someone said, the whole time your brother's a hoe. Then his brother came and said, damn, we're not the same man. He said, his brother said, I literally haven't been having sex. And I've been inside. He said, why am I catching strays? It's all a mess, man. But the thing is, and obviously people have brought up clips where, so basically Keke Palmer's got a podcast, and sometimes he and, as in her partner, well, her ex now, because they've unfollowed each other on Instagram. So her ex and her mum would sometimes like feature on the platform. And one time he asked her a question about like if something happened in public, right, where like he's moving inappropriate or whatever, how would she handle it? And she was like, I would never ever like discuss our business in public. She's like, it could be Summer Walker and she's wearing nothing. He was like, no, I will smile and be like, oh, you're right. Like, I will just be pleasant. And obviously when we get home, we'll sort it out. So people are like, look at this. Like, this is how, you know what she's like. You know how she wants things dealt with. This is what she said, the grace she would afford you. But yet you come here and then you're out here calling her out for how she's dressed. He's getting cooked by the minute, like by the second. And I'm loving it because I think he deserves all the cooking there is. I don't think it's nice and fair to embarrass your partner like that. And then also people brought out videos. there was a time, I think she was like lightly pregnant, like barely pregnant. I don't know if it was after the baby anyway, because her stomach looks very small. And he must have like, she was like twerking or shaking her bum, whatever, and he was recording it. And then people were like, so you were happy to post this, but her wearing a dress, a mesh dress, is what's got you in your thing. And that's how people are basically saying that it's not about what she's wearing. It's nothing to do with that. It's the fact that Usher was singing to your girl and they did a little twirl. That's what's got you hot and bothered. But yeah, man.
Reggie said if I put my face there, he's gonna put some more money in.
You said?
Reggie.
Money in what?
In the coffers. People are just.
If you put your face.
I just put my face there, so he has to put some money in. Let's give him some money. Reggie, I called you bluff.
What happens if you shake your ass?
Finish the wooden rugby.
I'm just saying, why stop there? Ladies, what's the bid if he takes his shirt off? He goes to the gym. Anyways, yeah, so he's getting cooked. I think it's right. I don't think it's nice to embarrass your partner like that. That's such a horrible thing to do. He definitely could have spoken to him in private. So I guess maybe things are not that rocky, but people have obviously done a comparison to Halle when DDG was out here moving mad as well. And the day before that, she had tweeted how much she loves her man. And then the next day, he acted a fool. And Keke 2 days ago tweeted about how she loves her man. And then today, here I am, talking about a word on road. Well, if you're talking about the same men, women don't take accountability. Anyways, that's all from me. Let's get into our interview.
All right. So, like we said, well, I think I told the community yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I've told them this morning as well that we've got a great guest on today. I've done a bit of research on you, Nabil. Obviously, I would love to hear you kind of speak about yourself and introduce basically everything that you do, the motivations behind it and everything. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like I said, let's start with the introduction.
Thank you for having me. Before I start, you lot set up is sick.
Oh, thank you.
I rate it highly.
Thank you so much.
For having me. Yeah, my name's Nabil Al-Kinani. I'm from the Chalkhill Estate in northwest London, in Wembley.
Okay.
I grew up like any other person in ends. I'm Arab, I'm Iraqi. Came to this country quite young, so I kind of came in a very multicultural part of the city. And so I was kind of blessed enough to be able to take all of the good things from everyone's cultures. And so like I didn't really know what I wanted to do growing up. I grew up right next to the Wembley Park development, which is like massive 85 acres around Wembley Stadium, like new build.
Yeah.
And kind of throughout my teenage years saw this big shiny place being built, and obviously we're growing up in ends in a certain type of situation. Seeing a new piece of London being built, that's not really for us.
Yeah.
None of my brethren could really go in there. Everything was overly priced, and like they made it very, very clear, like this place ain't really for you.
Yeah.
So that was one thing, and kind of going into my adolescent years, I saw South Kilburn Estate kind of get knocked down, get gentrified. You hear through the grapevine, Aylesbury is getting knocked down, the Haygate, all over London, like the places that we come from are getting knocked down. And then give it 2, 3, 4 years, you start seeing, appreciate you, you start seeing like the replacement of people. Now I grew up watching like John Singleton, Spike Lee. So I came to learn about gentrification and what it is from Boys in the Hood.
That scene.
So Lawrence Fishburne kind of explained the whole process, and as I saw that scene, even though it was filmed in like the 80s or 90s or something,
90s.
I recognized that. Regardless, I'm like 18, 19. I can't really do anything. I'm a YG from an estate in Northwest London. I got no power. So I just live my life, and I happen to I listen to a lot of podcasts. One of the earlier ones was George the Poets. Have you heard George's podcast? he was advertising for an internship. Obviously, George is from an estate down the road from mine, St. Raphael's. So I took the opportunity to apply, and like, thankfully I got in. And I spent a lot of time with George, like, kind of, he helped shape my political views, my sort of values as well, principles. And I've been quite active in Northwest London. The developer who was building Wembley Park just shot me an email saying, yo, there's a role here that you could possibly take up. And George was saying, like, Nabil, none of the man them like work in urban development. Like, the city's changing, we're getting gentrified, and no one really knows what's going on. So like, it's a responsibility that you go in and you kind of share that information. So I accepted the role. I've been working in urban development for approximately 4 or 5 years now.
Okay.
And it's interesting, man. It's proper interesting. It's funny the way they move. Like, the way that I used to be growing up, it's basically the same thing, but I'm just wearing a shirt now, and like, it's highly, highly political. And I was trying to work out, like, why are the man them always the ones drawing the short straw when it comes to gentrification? Like, there's people that get shifted from ends and they end up in country, like Milton Keynes, Luton. And bear in mind, like, if you're a mother who happens to be diaspora and you've built a community in your block, so you're a Somali mum whose English may not be that strong, and you've got like all your friends around you, and like your livelihood and your mental health is linked to kind of your village. The second that village gets torn apart, you feel the effects.
Absolutely.
So obviously not everyone thinks gentrification is bad.
I was about to say that to you.
Which is an issue, because like it's always the people who are not affected by it. Similar to the conversation we had earlier, the people who are not affected by it that are like, well, gentrification is a natural part of like
society,
and it's BS. I can't
changing the areas and that, it's not beneficial to know, because the people from the areas can't benefit from it. So gentrification would be good if they were going to fix up the areas and allow people in the communities to buy the places and have the places and actually live there and experience the newness. But that's not what they're doing, isn't it? They're kicking people out, like you're saying, uprooting whole communities, making people move to areas that they don't know, that they don't live, and then making rich people that can afford it come and move into these places. Yeah. You know what I'm trying to say? And champion it. And what's horrible about it is that when they done it in the beginning, it's because it was seen as a less desirable place. That's why you shoved us all here, innit? And then now things have, I don't know what they was thinking, but now things have changed, and like, bury them are good to commute to the city and stuff like that. Now they see value in them. They're like,
exactly,
we
gotta get these out of here.
All right. Exactly. So that point, I started to clock that. There's a lot of narrative around, like, well, Stonebridge estate is full of drug dealers, full of killers, and like, something needs to happen there. And they paint it as like there's no value here. But in reality, like, I work in urban development. I know what land value looks like, and it's to be straight up, it's lies. Like, there is value in the spaces that we operate. The ends is rich soil. That's why people come and want to shift the man them and build their own thing, because they see value in the land itself. So they'll call something shit, they'll shift the people out, and then build something better. And so the people who are benefiting are not the existing people. And so no one will admit it, but in reality, they don't assign any value to the mandem. They're not building for the mandem. They're not making the ends better for the mandem. They're making it better for other people who they know are going to pay them more and get profit from. So I saw that dynamic, and I was like, who the hell was selling the ends to these people who are trying to make money off of the land we're in? and it always came back to your local council, always came back to the state, the public sector. And the man always tend to be tenants to these, like, the public sector. So I was like, all right, how do I remove the power of decision making of these people to sell us off, and put it in the hands of people who really should have it? And so I was looking at, so because I work in development, I'm not really an architect, but I got to know a little bit about architecture. I got to know a little bit about engineering, about law, about politics, and I kind of weave everything together.
Yep.
So in my experience, I learned about a couple pieces of legislation that when used sequentially, the man can basically buy the ends. And the underlying principle is the ends can't be sold if the ends can't be bought by someone else if it's not for sale.
Okay.
And it can't be put up for sale if the man don't really own it. And so to transfer that ownership is to privatize. So I wrote a whole book about it. It's a short book, step by step, because I'm quite conscious of who I'm trying to speak to. Like, I'm trying to speak to people like you and me.
Slight dig there.
Nah, it's not a dig. It's hard, bruv. Like, because I'm speaking to a spectrum of people.
Yeah.
Do you get, like, I'm not just trying to speak to people who are a bit more educated or people who are in the know. I'm trying to speak to the youths that are bad mind, like. So like, they're young people. They're not gonna read a book that's this thick. Do you get what I mean? So I try to whittle it down into like 90 pages. The language I use isn't like, because there's a lot of like developer spiel that people use to throw off the general public, but I just made it clear. I actually got a couple copies for you lot.
Oh, thank you.
I was going to ask for one.
That's lovely, thank you.
I was saying to Ben earlier, I hope you bring.
Nah, I got one each. I got one each for you.
All right.
I love you.
But yeah, it was. Here you go.
Cheers.
Here you go.
Appreciate
No
you.
frills.
Thank you.
This is a manifesto.
Okay. Pass one down, please, babes. Thank you.
Thank you. So I can't lie, man. It took a lot of work getting this together. I was arguing with a lot of property solicitors and whatnot. And the book's really split into 3 parts. The first part is basically the why. Like, what's the situation that the man am I faced with? And why are we even talking about privatization? What is gentrification? All of that stuff. The second sort of third is the blueprint. Is how. So I break up into 4 phases. The first phase is you round up the mandem. The second phase is you plot the move. The third phase is essentially the buying. Let me try and remember. It's bad that I don't remember it. Yeah, the third phase is taking over, and the fourth phase is cleaning up. Now,
Okay.
It sounds quite colloquial and like I do it intentionally, because it's like I said, I'm not speaking to property people, I'm not speaking to law people, so it's very, very plain and very easy to understand, and the final part, the final third of the book is the consequence. So like, what happens if the man buy the ends, and like, what are you in control over? And like, this is a long-term plan. I even said in the final chapter, I said, you're not gonna die. Whoever's reading this, you're gonna die before
it all happens.
Before this happens. But it's an investment for the future. Now, there's a lot of people who wish for a better future for the man and for the community, but they don't really know how to get there. Reason being is that knowledge isn't shared with us. When I first started in the industry, I was one of few people. And like, again, even today, none of the mandem exist in my industry. So like, I need to be very, very clear with you lot. I work with government. I work with like local authorities. I work with the GLA. I work with these big, big people who decide what happens in the country. That's the power a landowner has. A landowner is able to lobby government, change laws, put in white papers. This is all uncharted territory for us. Do you get what I mean? But one thing I've realized is the landowner in this Britain is the most powerful person in this country. And so this is a foolproof way to acquire ownership. Now people are gonna say to me, why the ends though? Like the ends is just strife, bruv. Like I got issues in the ends. And it's true. So
it's true, you do have issues.
It's true, bruv. like road politics ain't gonna stop tomorrow. You just turn around and say, yo, the man need to privatize. Like that's not gonna stop
That's gonna help
with politics. So like just because you have a mortgage now, or like you've bought your block, don't mean that the man from down there ain't gonna run up on you. So there's a real conversation that we all need to have in terms of like collectively, is this a direction we want to go in, or do we want to end up moving to Milton Keynes? On our ones alone,
in a community,
in the Shire in Middle England, and like they don't really love us like that. We've already got an intact community. Do you know what I mean? We got a heritage in Britain. So my story, I came as an immigrant. The Iraq War happened, and I joined the story of Britain. Like I came into North West London. I'm Arab, bruv. Like I didn't really know anything. I landed here. I was a youth, but I grew up. A lot of my aunties, a lot of my uncles were they've been here since Windrush. They've been here since the South Asian community came up from West and Central Africa, the migration back in the 40s and 50s. So like I joined the story of like an existing timeline, and I'd learned from my elders, like this country, if you don't own land, they don't really value you, and the darker your skin is, the harder it will be for you. So how do you level the playing field? So it's been received mixed reviews, I'd say. Mixed reviews. And I get it.
In terms of like obviously you're not trying to make it seem like it's going to be an easy process. Like you said before, most of us won't even be here by the time we get to the end goal. But in terms of like practical steps, let's just say, actually I've got two questions now, right? But let's just say living in the hood, living in an estate, this, that, and the third, how would I go about making the first step? Are you basically saying to me, essentially, don't necessarily look for a house outside there, like in Essex or this, that, and the third, right? Buy here first.
So what I'm saying is the grass ain't really greener on the other side.
Okay.
It's greener where you water it. And I get horns. I was. So I can't lie to you, and I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong, but I feel like I'm gonna spend my lifetime trying to communicate this. I think it will take at least a generation or two to get people comfortable with the idea of, now you can own land in this country, you can be responsible for yourself, and you can create change yourself. We've been so used to asking for help. We've been so used to like demanding change, and that decision-making power falls with other people. Rightly so. This legislation is a foolproof way of gaining land ownership. Bro, like there's certain blocks in Northwest London, they're not managed properly. Like the ends is run down and not taken care of, not maintained. There's no cleaners, it's not painted. Like these little things mess with someone's psyche, you know? So like if a YG is walking through the ends and the ends is run down, he's gonna say, well, no one cares about this place. I live here, so no one cares about me. And so I'm gonna run around and do whatever. But if we're able to implement little changes, now you're a landowner, you can hire Uncle so-and-so who's a painter and decorator. I give him a contract. He's in the ends. I keep money circulating in the ends. And like now the ends looks and feels a bit better.
Yeah.
People look and feel better.
Is this just for like this ideology here? It's just if you ain't got no money, it's a non-starter.
There's different levels to it. So I think because it's a long-term process, it's gonna take a collective sort of plan. So yeah, bro, there's bare people from ends who don't have money. But then equally saying that there's bare millionaires that come out of ends. Do you know what I mean? And then there's bare people like me who are just on a normal job. So there's really 3 levels. Take St. Raph's, for example. Bro, George the Poet came out of there. Raheem Sterling came out of there. Chunks came out of there. That's one block. Do you know what I mean? I'm missing City Boy Mo. Like there's bare
Miles.
Taser.
Yeah.
Taser Black.
Do you get it? so like we also need to remember we come from places of value.
Yeah.
Even London Fields, Mash Town. Like I grew up listening to you, man. Like even Brixton. You got Jar Jar. You've got like Bo. You've got bare people. These people bring in big capital.
Yeah.
And it don't really, believe it or not, it don't cost as much as people think it does.
Yeah.
And if everyone plays their part, eventually, in 50 years, you can get there.
Yeah.
It is a long-term plan. I'll give you a comparative example. Yeah. Years ago, the Jewish community were not allowed to be buried within a mile of the city of London. On the Central Line, there's a stop that says Mile End.
Yes.
It has a university there called Queen Mary.
Yep.
Within there, there's a Jewish cemetery. Now, there's a plaque that reads like, this is where Jewish people from this point onwards were allowed to be buried. They were persecuted people.
Yeah.
From that time till now, bro, go Stamford Hill.
I'm telling you.
They have their own police.
Yeah.
They have their own ambulances. They have their own schools because they own land. They lobby government. Bro,
Yeah.
if the Labour Party say anything, what happened to Corbyn? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they have lobbying power. They're able to build stuff around their needs.
Yeah.
That's what land ownership, that's what it does.
That's what it
to
gets you.
But then one could say, well, they're one people, right? But obviously on the estate now, you've got black people, you've got white people, you know what I'm saying? We may not necessarily have the same, to some degree our plight is very similar, but not the exact same struggles. How do we band together and say, you know what, let's do something for ourselves? And where does ourselves start and end?
It's techie. It's techie because we need to have a real conversation on who the man them are.
Exactly.
Do you get what I mean? I'm not delusional. I'm not black. Man them is Caribbean term. Why am I using it? Do you get what I mean? So there's a history of migration we need to talk about. There's acknowledgements that we need to make. Like I'll openly acknowledge I grew up in the love of the black community. Do you get what I mean?
Hold up.
And that's the same for a lot of people. Let's look at Paris, for instance. Some of the close-knit communities there are Algerian, Tunisian, Moroccan, Senegalese, Gambian.
Yeah.
And there's a similar sort of makeup here. Do you know what I mean? There's a shared set of values, shared set of rules, shared set of cultural kind of signifiers that make it get, you know if you're sitting in a room if someone's one of the man or not. Where it starts and ends, I'm not a sociologist, that's your job.
Yeah.
But the one thing we can't deny is that the man exist. Bro, like Skepta is holding the flag for us all across the world. Sench, like, and they're two different skin tones.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna speak on things I'm not overly sure about, but I know the man exist. I know that there's a degree of multiculturalism in it. And I know that it's spearheaded and rooted in Black Britain. That's all I know.
I've got another question,
Yeah.
How does one go about it? All right, put it this way. I don't live in Pembroke Estate no more, right? But how can I go back and buy my flat, right? Or buy a flat in Pembroke Estate, for example? Am I not taking that potentially from someone who lives there, number one? And number two, am I not kind of contributing to the same... Obviously, my mindset is different to the average person, that would be, right? But would I not be kind of contributing to that dynamic where I'm keeping them as renters and I'm kind of benefiting elsewhere outside of the hood?
So we get into a grey area now because there are real dangers that the man them gentrify themselves.
Exactly.
Which is something I feel like I'm going to spend the rest of my career advocating against.
Okay.
What I'm trying to advocate for, or what I'm trying to communicate is, bro, buy the block, live in the block, make it better for you, make it reflect to you and your values, and don't rent it out. I know it's seen as an easy income stream, and who am I to say to people who have been hungry for years to not make money? But I'm gonna have to spend a lot of my time communicating to people that rent may not be the most sustainable way of making peas, especially when it's linked to shelter. Because what tends to happen when you rent something, you're gonna go for the highest bidder. We're capitalists, bro.
Yeah.
So like, we rent to the highest bidder, and the highest bidders are not us.
Yeah.
Do you get? So I think there's a value and a benefit in us holding that property, staying in it, not worrying about being homeless, and like ensuring that we hold the space rather than rent it out. And there's other ways to make money, man. Clint has little white kids running through the streets of London for £50 t-shirts, for £40 or whatever. There's easy ways to make product and to sell without kind of rent, basically.
Yeah, makes perfect sense, man. Again, on your website, which is nabilalkinani.com, right?
For this, I have privatizeamanam.com.
Okay.
Just easy.
Okay, cool. Privatizeamanam.com, right? But when I was looking on your website, you was talking about decolonizing Wembley.
Oh, snap. I didn't know we was talking about this.
Oh, is it? Okay.
now that's cool. I'll talk about it. Yeah.
Because I basically, all I wanted to kind of mention was something that I noticed where you said something about how, I guess based on the kind of like the legacy of the British Empire, obviously Britain, they kind of would name certain things in certain areas after people who they consider great.
Yeah.
How is that, I guess, what's the word? Subconsciously kind of affecting the people around? Because I feel like that's basically what you're getting at, which is clear. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for saying it's clear. Sometimes I worry, like, because I'm talking about some heavy topics here, and it's easy to lose people, and it's so let's just take a step back and be a bit abstract for a moment.
Yeah.
A landowner is able to build a place from their own imagination.
Yeah.
And people's imaginations are built off of what they value.
Yes.
Okay? So Wembley, for instance, this landowner, largely white male company, values or has a nostalgia for the British Empire.
Yep.
When they was on top and they was pillaging, raping, stealing, genociding people. Yeah. And so what they do is, in order to commemorate and honor that history, they've named a couple buildings and streets after that, after what they value. Whether they're bad people or not, that's up for discussion. There might have been oversight, they might have not known their own history, whatever it may be, but what's for sure, what's fact, is the British Empire hurt people.
Yeah.
So you're commemorating something that hurt people in northwest London, which has one of the highest Windrush populations in Britain, has the second highest Asian population, all of which were victims of the British Empire. But these men come anyway and they'll commemorate the British Empire because it's what they value. So it doesn't really matter what other people think. Now, if we were in the same position and we had land, we can commemorate what value we assign. So like we might have plaques. We might have a statue of Nasty.
Statues,
Do you know what I mean? Imagine a brass statue of Nasty down south. Yeah. Or like
he would love that, you know.
But who we choose to commemorate is dependent on the man. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
We might rename buildings and streets after, I don't know, we might call a road in Stratford Huss Lane. Or that's Croydon. Stratford. Well, they could do that as well. Again, it's fully dependent on people. It's giving people agency to make those decisions. Now, I find, again, Britain values the landowner. So it's hard for us to walk through private land and say, well, you lot shouldn't do this because da-da-da-da-da. Like, it's easy to speak from the outside. But if we level the playing field and we're able to make decisions for the ends ourselves, I feel like we'd be in a better place. We'd be in a better society. The decolonizer Wembley stuff is techie. Because as landowners, you're protected. So really, like, if I turn to the GLA or if I turn to like the public sector, the state, and I say, look at what they're doing, they're gonna say they're landowners, can't really do much. I have no jurisdiction. In fact, I represent them. Do you get what I mean? Like, if you look back into I have a little excerpt in the afterword of the book, but this country's political system is built on landlords and commoners. So the House of Commons represents commoners, people who don't own land. And the House of Lords are people who own land. Now, historically, owning land hasn't really been a marker of a lot of indigenous cultures in the global south. Like, when you look back into Wikipedia and you look at the Benin Empire, for example, there are no hard lines. It's a blob on a map. Because the concept of land ownership is different to European concepts. Britain is broken up into hard lines, and when they colonize us, they created those hard lines in their image. That's why we say, like, well, certain parts of Africa shouldn't be divided up like this, because there are tribes that are split between borders and stuff like that. And it's the same in the Middle East, same in India, everywhere. So the whole world, in a way, due to colonization, is divided up in the image of Europe and what the European mind produces. I think fire with fire. We got to play that game. There are whole systems at play, which sort of subscribe to that ideology. So, like, we can't turn around and say we don't believe in this and we don't believe in that. Even though we might actually do, but bro, the IMF subscribes to the borders, like the World Bank subscribes to those borders, and it's a bigger problem.
It's so political.
Yeah. And funny enough, I was actually going to ask about your political positions. Right?
Bro, I can't lie.
Want to see if they're lying?
Veganism next.
I get called a Tory. It don't help that the book is blue.
Great man.
I'm not a Tory.
He gets called a Tory. He gets called a Tory all the time.
because basically, what I want to ask is, right?
Yeah.
Because my thing is, I'm willing to vote for whoever can put certain policies in place that can benefit us.
Yeah.
I don't believe in just saying I'm voting for Labour because I did that my entire life.
Yeah.
They don't really. I see them as bad as each other.
Yeah.
And so my thing is, how do we kind of support Labour, for example, right? If they continue to put in policies that kind of make it hard for us to buy. Do you get where I'm coming from?
I'm with you. I can't lie to you, man. I'll be honest. The political class might as well be one homogenous mass. They're the same people. We're not really represented in in political forums.
Yeah.
We're basically battling. There is no socialist stance in Parliament now. We got Keir Starmer, who's basically blue Labour, and we've got idiots on the other side who are Tories, and everyone's just out for their own pocket. So I try not to engage in the political sphere too much. I try and keep conversations just to my people. Like, a lot of this work isn't to turn around and say, you lot have been messing us up. It's like, nah, I'm turning around to my people and saying enough is enough. Like, these men ain't gonna help us, and them men are not gonna help us. And like, we're in a position now as a people where we can help ourselves. Do you get it? So let's not play around with politics too tough. Let's build ourselves up in a position where it don't matter who's in power, blue or red, he's holding my peas that I've given him because I'm a lobbyist, because I'm a landowner, and he's gonna run whatever I tell him. I'm telling you, it's the same thing. It's just you wear shirts.
Yeah.
So it's
So I guess my question is, right now, to somebody who says, you know what, Nabil, I ain't got much money right now, right? What's the first step for me?
So the first step is read the book.
Cool.
Because there's a lot of information there that's useful. The second step is, if it's not enough and you want more, I built a line. So like, on the website, on privatiseamanham.com, there's a telephone number. It comes to my phone, this one. I got my personal number and I got the privatization line. And like, I've had people call me, I've had people send me voice notes, I've had people text me. It's all on WhatsApp. I like, can't lie, bro, I'm mad enough to like, I'll go to your block. Do you know what I mean? I'll go to your block, tell me what building you're talking about, and I'll tell you exactly what you need to do. We might come up with a 50-year plan. Yeah, you like, bring all your brethren with you, and we'll talk it through. Again, like, this whole piece of work is built on love in it. So I just want to, like, it's fueled by love. So I give the work love. So I'll never ignore people if they hit me up. People can email me, like, because I think there's real potential here for us to make some real change.
Obviously, like you said, you're doing everything from love, right? But how are you able to find the time, right, to, like you said, family life, right, work and all that, and kind of still, you know what I'm saying?
It's hard, I can't lie. It's hard. I work a day job, so I work 9 to 5, and it's not a light day job. It's a heavy one. I work in master planning, so I'm building a big piece of London at the moment. There are certain, because of who my employer is, they're not the audience of the book. There's sort of different value systems in place there, so I need to check myself on a regular basis. Like, am I doing something right here, or are we just chasing profit? So that's the reality. It's heavy, but then it's like Batman. Bruce Wayne on the day, and then put on the cape at night. So.
Love that.
But yeah, all jokes aside, it is hard. Like, I'm married, innit? So like, all props to my wife. She my time is her time. So like, it's I'm trying my best. I try and keep good people around me, keep me grounded, and like, with the support of people like yourselves, people who advocate online. I don't want it. This isn't an ego thing. Like, the only reason why my name is on this is for accountability reasons only. Like, this is meant to live past me. It's a blueprint. I give it to people. Go on with it. So I hope one day where it can become its own functioning work, and it's just it's a North Star that all the man them kind of know in the background that we don't really tell other people about. But like, did you hear, like,
this is
iCity just bought another block on Church Road? So they're slowly starting to buy the ends. Do you know what I mean?
So why are you selling the book if you're trying to help?
Bro,
What?
I don't know, I'm just trying to.
because it costs money to print.
There you have it.
And then whatever proceeds I get, I print more books
There you go. To reach more people.
to reach more people. And like I'll always give away free books. People who can't afford it, hit me up, man.
You literally gave us 4 books.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Like
Really didn't tune that part.
I'm not precious about like every time I link people, I'll bring a stack and I'll just give it out. Like,
Love that, man.
this ain't charity work. Like things cost money, and I'm not backed by like the big financial institution or an educational institution. It's all off a man's back. Like I got bills to pay as well.
Yeah.
So
For real.
so yeah, and I've priced it in a way that kind of allows access for people.
Yeah.
How do you like balance because you work with like different people, different organizations, I'm sure from different backgrounds and stuff, and sometimes in a room you're probably the only you in a room. How do you like navigate that in terms of like your values? Like if the conversations they're having, do you know my question? Like, how do you?
I get what you mean. I've had to do a lot of internal work.
Yeah.
Like I know myself.
Yeah.
I'm firm in myself. I know what my values are.
Yeah.
So when I'm in a room with people who don't really understand man's experience,
Yeah.
in a way, because of how scarce we are, I represent them.
Okay.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot of responsibility. That's why it's heavy.
Yeah.
That's why it's hard. Like, alhamdulillah, thankfully, I'm not bolden yet. So I'm firm in it.
That's good. That's a good sign.
That's a good sign. But it's important because these are the rooms that decision making on a large scale takes place.
Yeah.
So I have to make an effort to ensure that I represent the people who I belong to, and like I've become to value a lot more just the little link ups, the barbecues, the birthdays, the christenings, the like everything, like because the majority of my day is in central London, where we're scarce.
Yeah.
So it's intentional. But yeah.
What would you say is the most frustrating part of what you do? Like, is like the lack of support? Like, what would you say?
I wouldn't say frustrating because for me, I've already written the book, so my head's in another space.
Okay.
So when people first receive it, you need to talk them through it.
Okay.
Where, again, the man are in survival mode at the moment. Things are bad.
Yeah.
And like I'm out here talking about land ownership. What are the guys talking about? I'm trying to like.
Because it lives.
Bruv.
Because of living. Yeah.
So and I've had people turn around and say to me, "This isn't gonna stop my man from getting stabbed tomorrow." And I'm like, yeah, like, I never said it would, bro. Like this is a long-term plan.
Yeah.
All I'm trying to say is perhaps this might be a North Star that we could all face and work towards in the long term. Stop. I'm not trying to put a Band-Aid over a wound. Like I'm just telling you, maybe this is what we can work towards.
Something to bear in mind. Yeah.
And I've had a lot of people kind of. It's heartbreaking because a lot of the man will turn around and say, "No, I'm trying to leave the ends," and I get it. That's the thing. Like the first thing people do when they see money is leave the ends. I don't blame you. Like the ends is there's strife there. Like it might be dangerous for man, so of course I'm gonna leave. And so I always come back and say to them, look, like if it's not money you want to invest in time. Do you get it? Invest in skill sharing. Invest in something, because that will go a long way.
Yeah.
Sharing this message might change someone's life. I might give them a bit of direction. And so it's having that conversation again and again and again. it can be tiresome. I don't have a team behind me, so trying to address that is tough, and also a lot of politically right-leaning people don't like the idea of non-white British people owning land in this white Britain.
Yeah.
But that was always going to happen anyway.
Definitely.
It's a word. No, yeah. This is a really good conversation.
100%.
We really appreciate you coming and stopping by, and you're always welcome.
Thank you so much.
Please let people know your website again, if you go into social media pages, all that stuff.
Yeah. So it's Instagram at privatize the mandem with an S, not a Z. We're not American.
Yeah, we're not Americans.
We're not Americans. The website is privatizethemandem.com with an S, not a Z. And on the website, there's a line there. It's a WhatsApp line, so just hit me up with any of your questions. And I appreciate you guys for holding this conversation with me.
We appreciate you
coming,
for
man.
coming.
One of my favourite guests, man.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's really
Thank you so
very
much.
insightful.
I'm definitely going to read this as well.
Yeah, let me know what you think.
Get into this. Yeah, 100%. I'll definitely let you know my views. I'm going to have to review it. Book club thing.
Book club. But all right, let's get into our last headlines for today.
Before you start. All right, cool. Obviously, whilst it is that the conversation was going on, whilst we were paying attention in the studio, you guys were moving wild in the chat.
Yeah.
And appreciate the wildness. £500 they donated.
When just now.
Big up the TDA family, man. Homes.
What, just quickly? Hey, what, you going to come back? You want to...
They ain't never done that before.
They ain't never done that before. You might as well put up tomorrow as well. And you got another book.
No, they absolutely love the conversation, those who listen. But for those who donated, thank you very much. However, I need y'all to understand that what it is that we're building here, a lot of y'all, well, most of y'all don't have a clue. However, those who donated, can you send us your email address before the day has finished so that I can organize a Zoom call for those who donated and give you all a little sneak peek behind the curtain as to what it is TDA represents and what it is TDA represents in the large scheme of what TMB is building. That money that you've donated is not going into my pocket. None of the money that's generated here is going into my pocket. I need you all to kind of see what it is that we are quietly building here so that you all can appreciate where the money is going to be going. So send your emails in, and by the end of today, I'm going to email all of you all and look to schedule in a Zoom call.
Quick one, Brent, yeah.
Yep.
Do you know the names?
Yes. All right. So it started off with Greek, I believe.
Okay, Greek with your leather jacket.
Yeah, I think it started with Greek. I might be mistaken. Then
Big
it was
up Greek.
Tracy. And then Greek and Tracy did a thing where they were like, oh, is that what you're doing? I raise you. And it was crazy.
I love that.
Crazy,
I love raises.
crazy. And then Von didn't do anything. Sorry, Von.
No, Von just sits
Sorry,
there
Von.
and cusses me.
Reggie didn't do anything. Sorry, Reggie.
Tracy moved like a high value woman over there, innit?
She is.
Big up Tracy.
She likes
You know,
she probably got a nice little pot of cash to just spray. Keep spraying it.
he's spraying it.
Imi Snow Globe.
Big up Imi.
Anthony Urban TV. Kevin.
Anthony.
Yes, Anthony.
Kevin.
Big up
Big
Kevin.
up Kev.
Who else was it? Let me go up. I wanna name everybody. Chijoke was giving money to Esther. She's not gonna see that. Who else was there? I hope I didn't.
Official Soprano. Big up.
Yeah, he actions instead of just talking. I like that. Jotun.
Where is he from? Where's Soprano from?
Shout out Jotun.
It's giving Yoruba man energy. They don't talk too much. They just do.
I think he's Ghanaian, to be honest.
That's silly. Don't be silly.
So Shayla as well.
Shayla.
Yeah,
Big up Shayla.
She did it twice. Thank you very much.
Big up
Big up
Shayla.
Shayla.
Yeah, anyone that I missed, I apologize. It doesn't remain on my screen, so I can't remember. But yeah, send your emails, please, and I'll revert.
The camera's gonna be on the Zoom.
Yeah. Oh,
I might
okay.
drop by.
No, yeah. It's
See
not
what
gonna be
the
an
Kyiv family saying.
emoji or JPEG.
For
It's in my
research
face.
purposes.
Yeah, it's respectful to talk to people while they're.
Is it?
Yeah, by listening. Yeah, obviously not here. But,
All right.
That's what you did there. Thanks.
All right, so our first headline, yeah. The Swedish climate activist Greta Thunberg has been charged with disobeying a police order during a protest in her home country. The 20-year-old environmental campaigner was arrested after allegedly refusing to leave the demonstration in the southern city of Malmö on the 19th of June. A statement by a Swedish prosecutor said a young woman, confirmed them as Ms. Thunberg by the prosecution agency, was charged because she refused to comply with police orders to leave the scene. The crime of disobedience is typically punishable with a fine if convicted, but there is a chance the activists could face up to 6 months in prison. It won't happen. But the prosecutor, Charlotte Ottensson, said that you have the freedom to demonstrate, but you must not demonstrate in such a way that it causes disturbances for others. Ms. Thunberg will reportedly face a trial at the end of July. Next headline, trigger warning here of sexual assault and trafficking. And this is about the US actor Allison Mack, who has been released from prison early after serving 2 years for her role in a sex trafficking case tied to a cult-like group. The 40-year-old pleaded guilty to racketeering and conspiracy charges in April of 2019, related to her efforts to recruit women to the NXIVM sex cult. NXIVM started in 1998 as a self-help program. It claims to have worked with more than 16,000 people, including the son of a former Mexican president and Hollywood actress, such as Mack. Prosecutors say that Mack helped recruit and groom women as sexual partners for the group's leader, Keith Raniere. And though Raniere was 62 and was at the top of this structure and the only man, Mack served as one of his top female deputies. So he was the only man in this in this thingy. So female recruits were allegedly branded with his initials, and expected to have sex with him in exchange for becoming a part of the group, which was based in Albany, in New York. Mack was arrested in 2018, was facing as much as 17 years in prison, but saw her sentence reduced after providing evidence to help prosecutors pursue their case against Raniere. In 2020, he was sentenced to 120 years in prison for multiple crimes, including forcing women to be his sexual slaves.
Wow.
Yeah, and the last headline, again, big trigger warning of rape and child abuse. This is a terrible story, so if you're,
trigger warning, man.
Yeah, just turn off from this one. And this is basically about a man who has been sentenced to life in prison for the rape of a 9-year-old Ohio girl in a case that made headlines after the victim had to travel to another U.S. state for an abortion. Gerson Fuentes, who's 28,
9-year-old girl.
9-year-old, yep. This animal was 28 years old, and he pleaded guilty to 2 felony counts of rape in last year's attack. The child went to Indiana to terminate the pregnancy after a home state restricted access to the procedure. It happened after the U.S. Supreme Court overturned abortion rights, which we spoke about, I believe it was last year. Prosecutors noted that they could not find any evidence that Fuentes, who was a Guatemalan national, was in the U.S. legally. He will only be able to apply for parole after 25 years, and then he could be deported. He will be required to register as a sex offender. Fuentes had confessed in an interview with police to raping the child twice, according to court documents. DNA testing of the aborted fetus also confirmed he was the father. Referred by a child abuse doctor in Ohio, the victim visited a clinic in Indianapolis, in the state of Indiana, to have an abortion on the 30th of June when she was 6 weeks and 3 days pregnant. This is according to the Indianapolis Star newspaper. The girl, who turned 10 before the procedure, had to cross state lines as Ohio had outlawed abortions after 6 weeks, with no exceptions for victims of rape or incest. The doctor who carried out the girl's abortion was fined $3,000 in May by Indiana officials for violating her privacy by speaking to the media about the case. However, in this situation, the Indiana Medical License Board did not suspend the doctor, Dr. Caitlin Bernard.
I don't think you understand. That guy needs to be, killed in the worst way. Yeah, life in prison is not it. And I really hope that every day he wakes up and is jumped repeatedly every single day. Because that is mad.
crazy. But yes, it's time to pay them bills, people.
Let's get into the reaction.
Say goodbye to the people, Emmanuel.
Why do you just put him on the spot like that?
You know what I mean?
I was saying, he didn't even
Justice for you, man.
They didn't say thanks
you,
to
justice for
the
you,
to
man.
the super chats or nothing. They
What?
wanted a special thanks to get me.
Thank you for the super chats,
They
people.
wanted you to twerk.
It's the family show, guys.
Shake that money maker.
Welcome to the reaction.
Drive carefully, yo. Never in a rush.
Drive carefully, yo.
You have to do that. See ya.
Later.
Welcome to the reaction. Esther's favourite part.
I've been waiting for it all day.
Been dying for it.
Dying for it.
How do you feel about Arsenal reaching an agreement with Timber for 8.5 million?
Mixed feelings. I was so busy tweeting about Tyreek to gauge the temperature. So mixed feelings.
All right then. Well, they're going to pay an initial 34 million and further 4.3 due to related add-ons and these things. So yeah, that could work well for you. In avenues, Chelsea are continuing to explore the market for the midfielder, Moises Caicedo. It is thought Chelsea are getting encouragement that the player would join if a deal can be agreed between the clubs, with personal terms not expected to be a problem. So hopefully they'll get that. No, hopefully, what am I talking about? Anyway.
Lost yourself over there. You impartial.
Forgot yourself.
It's looking crazy.
Like what?
Man United made a bid worth 45 million euros for Inter Milan goalkeeper Andre Onana. I think they're still holding out for 60 million. But the conversations seem like it's going well. They're not a million miles apart, and it doesn't seem any tension between them. The player wants to leave. Well, he said he's open for leaving as long as the clubs can come to an agreement. So everything over there seems pretty normal, and they're going about their business about that. It looks like it might be done by the end of today or tomorrow, the way these stories are coming out kind of quick. I'm happy the way they're going about their business, actually, to be fair. Just dealt with Mason, got that over the line, go to the goalkeeper as you need, get that over the line, and I think all roads are going to lead to a number 9. We need to start selling some people first, but yeah, it was a good. That's a good move. Once we get Andre Onana, I think that changes the whole dynamics of the team, whole style in that. Less of the counter-attacking football, maybe a more controlling style. So that looks good. And then in our last piece of news, the England under-21s, yeah, man, they beat Israel 3-0. I believe. Have they got a flawless record? Let's see what this is saying. England booked their ticket to the Euros Under-21 Championship final for the first time since 2009 with a 3-0 semi-final victory
that's sick.
over Israel in Georgia. Yeah, big up them.
History makers.
The Young Lions won the competition in 1984 but extended their winning streak in the competition to 5 games as they eased past Israel to reach Saturday's final where they will play Spain, who defeated Ukraine 5-1. Morgan Gibbs-White atoned for an early missed penalty by heading England in front 3 minutes before the interval at the Butami Arena. Cole Palmer effectively put the game beyond Israel after a lengthy VAR check for offside when he doubled England's lead just after the hour. Substitute Cameron Archer sealed their passage to the final with an emphatic third in the 90th minute as England maintained their flawless record to reach the final. And yeah, that's our sports news. Nothing you want to say, Brent?
No.
And this hasn't been updated.
The time is there.
No.
All right, let's get into our outro. This is going to have to get fixed next week.
All right.
Give it to Keke Palmer's man.
Keke Palmer's man, you're done at
You're
it.
Give
done
it to Reggie.
Why
Reggie?
Reggie?
What did
What
Reggie
did Reggie do?
Reggie said if it is a show my face, he's going to put some money in the chat.
And he didn't do it.
He did though.
You're lying.
Didn't do it. And everybody else, all the women,
Are you sure he didn't?
all the women are basically just living
One
their
second,
raps.
because there's a delay. We'll give you time. We'll give you time to be a man of your word. Reggie, what are you doing? What's going on here?
Are you sure he didn't? I thought he did.
Nah, Reggie didn't.
Reggie,
really
don't
didn't.
be the first member of the community to go and down it here, man. That's wild, man. That is crazy. I hate that for you, man.
Yeah, I can't even lie, Reggie. I can't even type. I don't know what to say.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Damn, hate
But
to
since
see it.
then, Izzy has donated £100.
Big up,
Becca,
Izzy.
20.
God,
Big up, Becca.
damn.
Timmy, I see you. I see you.
Big up to me. Big up to me.
Straight.
Really?
Okay. Thank you guys for watching the show.
I'm still
Right.
waiting. I'm leaving it open for Reggie.
Yeah, let me talk slow. Give Reggie some time to, you know, you have to go
Oh
into
no,
your
he
bank
did.
app.
He did. Sorry, Reggie. He did, Brent. I don't know what happened, man.
What did
Missed
Reggie
it.
donate?
I don't know, but he donated.
When?
Yeah, when a Nigerian says they me, that means me.
Wait. Is it 79p?
Wait, he did?
Yeah, you don't listen to Kevin.
Wait, what else?
Yeah, if he did, I apologize.
Well, even if it was 79p?
Yeah,
He should
100%.
apologize.
100%.
Because he said he didn't at all.
Oh, he did. My bad. It's
Oh,
because
that's
it's
horrible,
79p,
man. You
just
put him on
went-
blast, you know.
It did stay up for long.
Everyone listening to the audio on Spotify and stuff is going to think Reggie's a liar. We can't have that. Big up
I
Reggie.
have to clip this up and put it right at the beginning.
Yeah,
That's
mate.
my bad.
Big up Reggie. Ruin people's markets.
In fact, Reggie, you're my killie.
You get
I'm gonna send you £5.
You,
Send me your cash up. Send me your cash up as an apology. In fact, I'll make it 10. I apologize.
All right.
This is terrible. I did this on air.
You did this on air,
Oh,
bro.
let's make
You
it
got to
20.
send him the email.
Reggie, send me a cash up. I'll give you £20.
First, okay, you two.
And it's not. It's not.
Hey.
It's not from the pot that we.
It's going to be 50. I was about to say, it's going to be 50 next.
Is that what
The
you're doing?
finance, the TNB finance
what
person
you're
needs to
doing?
speak to you.
Is that what you're doing?
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Don't put me out because I will say yes. I will do it. I will
No, I
send
mean,
it
you're moving reckless. I mean, you're moving
25.
reckless. You're a dickhead.
Send me your cash up, Reggie. Send me your
Hey,
cash
Reggie,
up.
send him your cash app because you don't
Send
know
me
what
your
Brent's like. He'll send you the money.
actually
Immediately.
will.
Immediately.
He's sick.
Line.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a good idea. Just stop.
This was a fantastic show today.
It was a fantastic show today. It was very wholesome.
One of my favorites.
And I like that the conversation we had earlier with topic of the day ties into the conversation we had with our guests. Like, this is what we do. Listen, we're talented, okay?
Very.
But big up you guys. I hope you guys are liking them. Is the likes making sense? Don't think because you're donating money.
At one point in time, Imi Snow Globe said, you know, you guys don't have to donate. You could just like the video. Nobody liked it.
Listen, I'd rather give money. Do you know, fair enough. Do you know, I'll be honest, fair enough. If you don't rather give money than donate, so great, rather give money than like the video, fair innit? Everyone plays a part. But follow us on our social media platforms, The Day After TNB, on Instagram, Twitter, and on TikTok. If you've got your dilemmas to send in, tomorrow's Sis, what would you do? Send it. The number is 075-6484-1073. Big up our lovely guest. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For joining us. And also big up you guys, all the people that donated, that sent money in and all that good stuff. Big up you guys. And if you want to inquire about the show or feature on the show, you can email our team at thedayafter@thenewblack.com. I do have to say, I know people said they enjoyed this conversation, but really, I feel like our platform is very diverse. So we might be talking about Carisha and them tomorrow. We don't know.
Exactly.
But do you know what I mean? It's diverse. But if you know people who are doing amazing things, send them
100%.
the page and get them to contact us and come on the show, and we'll have conversations with them. You know, we're not opposed to it. So we're here to talk about a variety of things.
100%.
But we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great Thursday.
Peace.